a Kezar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback podcast time, and Alex has got blue steel.
I can't turn left, though. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a real issue.
It really is, man. It really is.
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be a lot of fun because we have had some time off, and so we didn't live stream last week, so there is a lot of things that we get to talk about. The chat is already going good.
It's lit.
It's lit.
I like it.
It's going to be fun. There's a lot of energy, which I like. And I think this is going to be a very fun episode because we're going to get to have some fun and get to talk some 49ers and probably a bunch of jokes with the people as well.
I mean, there's going to be plenty of time for jokes, right? I mean, we've been gone a little bit. We took, and by gone, we mean like no live stream. We took some time to just recharge the old batteries because, I mean, we got a big push here. We got a big push for 1K coming up. We're trying to get there, before end of July. Now, it's looking like before season, but you know what? This community has been great, so we're trying to get that push to 1K before we get to the end of July. We got training camp coming up. You're going to have preseason not too long after that. And before you know it, we're going to literally blink, open our eyes, and it's going to be season time.
It is.
It's going to be full go.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just a couple weeks away from, mandatory minicamp. So that means everyone will be there. Even guys that have been injured will be there. Even if they don't practice, they'll be in the room. We'll be able to see what they do and, just kind of their interviews and stuff like that. I think everyone's looking to get a glimpse of Nick Bosa and some of these guys coming back. So I think those are going to be fun things to watch coming up. And you know what? The 49ers have been busy because they've been signing, cutting, just really enjoying what they're doing in their moves. I like it because I think they're basically trying to figure out who's going to fit where. I also think that part of the reason that they're moving guys around is because they've had these injuries and they need to have healthy bodies out there to be able to catch the ball, but I don't think they are secure 100% with the 12 receivers that they have. They're going to try to make sure that they got guys. Alex, what did you think? Were you super excited when they signed Jones? Andy Jones, that is.
I mean, no. I mean, if we're putting it mildly, no. They really haven't done anything too crazy in the last few days. The Pruitt one, I mean, the Pruitt one kind of gives my viewpoint on the Jones one, right? They did it.
I'll be honest.
They did it.
I like the Pruitt signing.
I like the Pruitt signing too. This was another one when the Pruitt signing happened. I didn't realize there was going to be like 50% of the fan base that was going to just absolutely lose it because they are like dead on for them bringing back Delaney Walker. Yeah. Jeff Wilson goes down. They're dead on about bringing back Frank Gore. Like, they really, really want both of these guys back. And I don't think the McCole Pruitt signing takes away from the Delaney Walker possibility. I think it's just a right now thing. And it's good for the blocking aspect of the game because he is a really good blocking tight end. And we all know how important it is for our tight ends to be able to block in this system. This is a run-heavy system. This is a run-first system. If you don't run the ball well, it's hard. It's hard to get this going in the right direction. It's not as hard when you got Jimmy on the field, but if Jimmy's out hurt and you're going to ask Trey Lance to sling the ball 30, 40 times a game, you're setting him up in a position to fail, right? And it's the same position that we saw C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins fail in this last season. So you have to be able to run the ball effectively, and you got to have a competent passer. Trey Lance is a more competent passer than those two guys, and Jimmy is definitely a more competent passer than either of the backups we had on the roster last year, or anyone still on the roster currently at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's for sure.
Yeah, McCole Pruitt I thought was a good signing because obviously this is pushing Charlie Warner. They're looking at Warner and they're asking the same questions that we've been asking. Why do you spell your name like that? And why can't you catch the ball? I think those are big questions that he has to answer. And in OTAs, he's running the wrong routes and he's struggling a little bit. He did put in the time working out with George Kittle in the offseason. And I think that they're expecting more growth from him and they haven't got it. So now they bring in this guy. McCole is a definite improvement over Daniel Helm. So you've got that. Do I think Delaney Walker could also come in? Yeah, I think this is a good chance for them. They had him come in for the tryout, and they checked out his medical. They've seen what he looks like, and there could still be a move down the road. But this was a good signing of Pruitt because he's a very solid blocker who has better skills right now than Warner in the pass game, which I think is a good sign because, right now, Dwelly is 2, and then what? After that, you're kind of worried because Warner hasn't developed.
There's not a lot there after
No.
2, and even the drop off from 1 to 2 is fairly drastic.
Yeah.
It's fairly drastic, and I think that's part of the reason why you and I both kind of have maybe a video coming up here in the next, I don't know, maybe this upcoming week that you all should probably check out, in which we're going to dive into a little bit more some tight end options. We don't want to go too in depth in this chat right now because we don't want to take that away.
Yeah.
Niner Joe Empire says hope Bosa is going to be ready to go at the start of the season. We agree with you there. And listen, I don't think there's any reason to doubt Nick Bosa's readiness. Everything seems to be on track. There hasn't been anything too crazy. I know 49ers fans have been losing it a little bit about the injury report that came out and some of the names on the injury report, but none of it seems serious.
No, and how much of this is just them getting to this point where they're like, you know what, let's not push it. If you're having little things, little injuries, don't push it and get hurt. The other thing is this is completely normal, especially during a mini camp or OTAs, because these guys are not used to playing football. There's a difference between being in shape, which all of them are in tremendous shape, and doing their off-season drills, and being in football shape. Just doing football things, it does, put work on your body. I think anyone that remembers playing football, even whether it was youth, high school, college, whatever, pros, you are going to be sore, and you're going to feel it. The cramps are coming. It's nothing you can do about it. And those are things that people just have to get used to. Is these soft tissue injuries are going to happen, and you just have to, rest it, get over it. There's no reason to push them now. If this was training camp, maybe some of them will push through it. If this is the season, they would definitely push through it. But don't read too much into it. There's no reason to be like, oh my gosh, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are just so injury prone. Let's not get into that during the offseason. Worry about that if you start hearing about these injuries late in training camp. Not early in training camp, but late in training camp.
No, that's fair. And that's what it should be, right? That's what the focus should be on. That's what the fan base should be worried about, is those types of things. Because listen, at the end of the day, some of the stuff that came out, the Raheem Mostert, the knee stuff, people freaking out. Look, it's not surgery worthy.
Well, don't you think they're probably just being cautious?
I would be cautious. He dealt with a knee sprain last year that kept him out of games. I wouldn't be overdoing it right now. It's OTAs, folks.
Yeah.
This isn't mini camp. This isn't preseason practice. This is OTAs. This is the time that teams are using to get the rust off. Because there's a difference between being game ready, right? Like being ready to play in an actual physical game, and building yourself up for it. Every process is it's stepping stones. Like when I was coaching, we had your preseason conditioning, then you have your preseason practices, right after that. And then you get into your actual roster. You made your cuts, all that, because you've had your prep work building up, and you have all your off-season work and all that great fun jazz that you do. But all of it is a build up.
It is
to when the serious stuff happens. And when guys got nicked up and dinged up in preseason workouts or preseason conditioning or preseason practices, that's when, I guess, maintenance days would come into effect as a coach.
Yeah.
That's what these guys are doing now. You're in OTA. You're not even in the preseason work. This isn't even like conditioning sessions right now. This is just you're installing the basics. The fact that the Niners have basically almost every single person on their 90-man roster at these OTAs is insane. It's nuts because you have teams that don't have 30 guys.
Yeah, right. The Seahawks have almost 40. That's just not good.
Not good.
But when you're looking at it too, a lot of people that don't understand how these camps work, and that's why people are complaining about Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, he only threw 9 passes in 11-on-11 and 7-on-7, and Trey Lance only threw 12. Yes, that's because these receivers have to run all these routes. That's why you have 12 receivers. You have 5 tight ends.
What are you saying, sir?
You load up on all this stuff, so that way you have guys to be able to run. That's why you have 90-man rosters in preseason, because there's so much time and so many reps that have to go into it. You just need to keep these guys fresh, and that's really what's going on. That's why I don't blink about injuries now. But if we get to the end of training camp and you're starting to get guys that are kind of falling off and getting injured again, then those injury concerns come back because then we have to worry about those guys playing in week 1, which we need everyone healthy in week 1. But I think the 49ers are smart, resting guys when they need to, making sure they try to get everyone as healthy as they can, and just take care of these soft tissue injuries now so they don't turn into something else later.
No, Joe, I agree with you there. Part of the reason they drafted the 2 running backs was depth reasons, and you're trying to shore up against injuries. They've had injuries at the running back position. Listen, though, Gary, I don't know if I agree with you there on that. You can only get in shape for a sport by playing that sport.
That is 100% true.
It's 100% true in the sense of like doing those things, but you can emulate those things and not by playing the sport.
It 100%, no matter what you do during the offseason, there is a transition period when you get onto the field, the court, whatever, where you are getting into that sport shape.
100%.
Yeah.
But you can emulate those things by doing certain activities that replicate those things. What I'm saying is you don't have to play the sport to get in shape for the sport.
Well,
but you have to train. You have to be specific about your training.
I don't think he's saying that you can't. He's saying you're getting in a certain amount of shape as possible. But I mean, let's be honest. If you're out running routes against DBs, yeah, they can be somewhat physical with you during the offseason. But now you're in there with somebody that wants to do really well and is pushing and pulling on you with pads on.
True.
That's a completely different thing. Your body does, change and do things differently when you're in camp. So it is different getting in football shape. I don't know how many times I would tell the kids that I coached, we would run and we would work out over the offseason, and then they would come in and, Coach, we didn't work out hard enough. I'm dead at practice because you're not in football shape yet. But guess what? Once we got through like week 1 of the games,
good.
They were never tired again. Yeah. Oh, I'm good. I don't even have any. Coach, I'm not tired. I can play the whole entire game.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I'm aware.
That's how it works. That's how it works. And that's what's going to happen with these guys too. But people from the outside in aren't going to realize that that's what's going on.
No, and they're gonna jump to conclusions, and they're gonna freak out a little bit when they see certain types of things, or especially when they see names on rosters, because that's the big one, right? People start seeing names popping up on injury reports. Yeah, I know Jalen Hurd was up on there, and people were freaking out. Oh, there he is again, already on there, and it's like, okay.
No, he's still on there.
I mean, he's still on there
because they're bringing him back
from the ACL.
Yeah, they've had a plan from the time he got hurt. They established a plan and a timeline to bring him back, and it's still a part of that plan. There's no way they ever planned on him to be participating in OTAs at all. You may see him at minicamp, but more than likely you're going to see him at training camp. That's the first time we're going to get a glimpse of Jalen Hurd on the field.
No, I agree with you there. And that's kind of what it should be, right? That's kind of what they should be doing.
Monica's asking how old are the guys. We coach guys that were high school.
It was all high school.
Yeah, it was high school.
All high school.
Yeah.
Good stuff, too. Good stuff. And I'm trying to work on this overlay here to see if we can't get this chat back going so we can get them up on the screen. That way they know that we are noticing them. But while I'm doing that, what do we got next on the docket, good sir?
What I'm sure Dum Dum thinks you coach ants.
Wait, we'll say what now?
He said some Dum Dum probably thinks I coach ants, basically.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. Totally. Uh-huh. Yeah, no. Agreed, Tommy. Definitely ants. Yeah. It's not his name. No. I probably at some point should throw a label up there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there with time.
It's all good.
We're building the channel, folks. Building.
But I mean, the 49ers, they're also bringing in, have you seen, what's his name, Javon Catoy?
Catoy, I think so.
Yeah. 6'5", 230 pounds.
That's a big dude.
He's huge.
That's big. That's very big.
Of course, he's been playing junior Canadian football?
We'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the expectations are there. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think if you're the 49ers, right? It's just a big body guy that you're trying to develop.
Yeah.
But that's what you want. That's what they've shown they've been willing to do that. Right? They've been going after that and targeting that. So it's a guy that has potential, but I mean, practice squad, right? This is what he's going to end up most likely being on, is a practice squad guy. Because I don't know if this is his first NFL team workout, correct?
No, he's had several.
Maybe he's a protected practice squad guy then.
Yeah, I think he's a guy too. I think some teams are taking a look at to see if he could develop into tight end.
Maybe.
But I'm not sure if he is going to ultimately make it. But they're bringing him in to take a look, see if there's anything there. I mean, he's making the run. He's going through all the teams.
He is.
So I'm not sure if he's really a guy that they're going to sign. But
I mean, it's one of those things at the end of the day where at this point they're going to be bringing in a lot of people. They're going to be bringing in a lot of names, and you're going to see a lot of chatter about people they may go after and target, people they may be looking at right? We already got the Delaney Walker stuff. You got 49ers fans pitching for Frank Gore. Bring him home. Bring him back. Let him go.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do this, especially with the injury to Wilson, even though we drafted 2 running backs and probably don't need to go after any running backs at all. And you signed Wayne Gallman. So, I mean, they're set at the running back position. But tight end names are going to be a big one for sure. Don't be surprised if there's another cornerback coming here in the near future. I think they're just going to wait it out and be patient because there's still teams who could cut a guy, right? They may be willing to bring in and swoop up at some point.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised about receiver because injuries happen all the time and something could happen to a guy and who knows? I know the Niners have been low on on receivers and OTAs so far because of some injury stuff and nicking stuff, and they're just trying to keep some people, safe. But it's leading to my bold prediction of a sleeper who could make the roster. Mohamed Sanu's been tearing it up in OTAs.
Yeah. Well, he's getting a lot of reps. They said he looks good. Yeah, I think Mohamed Sanu can definitely make the roster.
And I think this is what he needed. He needed some opportunity to shine and show that, he's recovered from the Achilles. Like he's had time to get better.
I'm curious what happens when we get into training camp and everyone's out there.
And everyone's healthy. Yeah.
How the pecking order starts looking. Who's doing what and what roles are they used. That's going to be interesting to see. Just how they figure that all out, because the receiver position is going to be one of the most polarizing of training camp, trying to figure out who plays where and who does what. But you're right; those are positions. The other one that I started hearing about, because I did hear about Frank Gore. I think we've made it clear that though we love Frank, we don't think that he should be on this roster.
No.
I think that his time, if a team gives him a shot, great, but I don't think the 49ers are that team.
There is definitely a team out there that can give him a shot and that he has an important role with. It's not going to be a Super Bowl contender though.
Yeah.
It just won't be. He's not going to be able to contribute enough. He's going to take away touches and opportunities from a player who's going to have more impact on that offense. Maybe the only team that has maybe playoff aspirations that I could see him fitting in or filling a role in would be Chicago. And that's only if something happens to one of their main 2 backs and one of them goes down with injury. That'd be the only way he sees the field. He's going to have to play for a team that's not competing, in which they have a young running back and they're not trying to overload the workforce on him because they have to rely on their running game because they maybe don't have a competent quarterback or receivers, or their defense is terrible and their offense is playing a lot of snaps. That's the only way Frank Gore is going to be making an NFL roster this year.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's not a bum by any means. He's old.
Yeah.
He's just old.
I know.
I'm not old, and I move about as fast as Frank Gore.
I think him kind of reminds me of the Jerry Rice situation, where Jerry just kept finding places to go, and finally someone had to tell him, like, dude, you're done.
It's time.
And I think that's where we're at with him. The other one that I've been seeing brought up is, I know the Niners signed James Burgess.
They did.
At linebacker.
They did.
But once again, people are calling for Quan Alexander.
It's true.
And Quan at a cheap price, is he better than the guys we got? Nathan Jerry's been hurt. He's having the Achilles thing going on, but they said he'll be ready for training camp. So do we think Quan is still a possibility?
Listen, I don't think it's improbable.
Yeah.
Quan to San Francisco makes so much sense in so many ways. Number one, the familiarity with the system, his comfortability with that defense already, and the success that he had with that defense. He was a great linebacker on a great linebacking core when healthy. And it's going to be on the cheap.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost a lot of money. So that's the thing right now with San Francisco, is you're trying to find a way to keep things to a minimum, the impact to a minimum, how much you're spending on these guys and going out and getting more if you're making a trade. How much cap is that taking up this year? How much cap is it taking up potentially in the future? They do have a lot with Weston Richburg retiring. You freed up $9 million next year?
$9.2 million.
$9.2 million next year. So, having a guy that you can bring in on like a cheap deal this year and maybe a little incentive next year, if you wanted to keep him around for 2 years, you have some money to play with. So it makes sense. He fits with the scheme and the system.
Yeah.
And if you want to become a more aggressive defense with more blitzing, Quan is a guy who can blitz. He's shown that. He knows how to get pressure. And when he's healthy, he's a solid tackler in the open field, especially, and he's really, really good in coverage. The question is, have the injuries taken a toll? Because if they've taken a toll on him and he just a step slower, how much of a contribution can he have on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of his videos, his off-season workouts. He doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't know how fast he really is. But he's an improvement over some of the guys that we got. I don't know if they think he can start over Aziz, but if they think he's better than Aziz and Nathan Jerry, then you should bring him in because he's better than them. As long as financially he doesn't ask for too much money. I did see Tommy say his Burgess Meredith. No, Mick is not playing for the 49ers. Get over here, Rock. Mickey loves you. But no, whoa, that was interesting.
Hey, now overlay.
Okay, and but I did watch some Burgess video. Okay. And I was breaking it down, trying to see how he is. And you know what? He's definitely towards the back end of that depth. As far as talent-wise right now, I think that he needs to develop. He's a developmental guy, somebody that can help in special teams. But I wouldn't go out there and say that was a big-time signing. So overall, I think he's a solid player, but not a guy that's going to be a game changer.
No, and that's fair, and that's kind of what we did with that little short. You guys had sent it over and said, "Hey, this just happened. Can you do a little short for it?" That was kind of my thought process and feeling on it, having just looked at some of the stats and just looked at some of the impact that he had on some of these other teams. He just hasn't done a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a guy that you're willing to take a flyer on. It's not going to cost you a whole lot of money, and if you end up cutting him, there's not really going to be a cap hit that you're going to have to pay. You're going to have a minimal damage. And it's just a way to push the young guys that you brought in all honesty. It's a guy who's a vet experience, right? He's been in the league before. He knows at least what it takes to make an NFL roster. And so you're going to bring a guy like that in because it's going to keep those undrafted guys, especially, just on the up and up. And again, it just goes to show that the Niners they're not entirely, I wouldn't say they're not convinced. I think they know who their two linebackers are. I think pretty much everybody knows who the two mainstay linebackers are. But they're not comfortable with just sitting pat and standing foot with where they're currently at with their roster and the pieces that they've had. They're trying to find ways to, even if it's just a small upgrade is better than no upgrade.
Right.
Or if a guy's taking a step backwards, a downgrade. So for me, it just makes sense for them to be doing stuff like this and making these types of moves, because you've heard me say it tons of times, and I used to preach this to my kids all the time. Every year has to change.
Yep.
You can't come in and do the same things the same way every year. The Niners went out and re-signed almost all of their players, and now they're doing something that, in all honesty, I don't think I'd seen them ever do before under the Kyle Shanahan era, right? They drafted running backs, right? They went quarterback and O-line in the first 2 rounds. They didn't address their defense. Okay, I mean, that's just unheard of in the Kyle Shanahan Lynch era. Mm-hmm. They're doing things slightly different this year, and it's because they're shoring up and hedging all of their bets. And now they come in with their linebacking core. They sign 2 undrafted free agents, and all of a sudden, whoop, there's a linebacker signing, and whoop, there's more guys on the market who they can still go get. I wouldn't be surprised if they go after 1 or 2 more, or try and target 1 or 2 more. That 90-man roster between now and the time that mandatory, training camp starts and everything else starts, before minicamp start, I mean, that 90-man roster can still change a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, San Francisco said about Burgess that if you watch the highlight tape, pretty much everything is him making plays, sacks, interceptions. Correct. A lot of times, look at who the quarterback is. It's a backup. It's in the last 2 minutes of the game. There are times that it's early on, and he does show flashes in coverage and stuff like that. But to me, he's just not somebody that I think is starting worthy. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll play better. And then I seen Monica and Megan both asking why we thought Julio hadn't been traded yet.
Listen, everyone's losing their mind about this, about the Julio thing. All right? I've been watching a lot of different podcasts last week during our break period, just seeing what other people are talking about, seeing what these other teams around the league, what their talking heads are saying. And all of them are like, I can't believe Julio's not dealt. I can't believe Julio's not dealt. Why is Julio not dealt? Because why would you rush to deal a high demand? I mean, it's not. Yes, there was a cap saving on June 1st. You know what doesn't happen on June 2nd? The cap saving doesn't go away. Right. It stays. The incentive was to deal him after June 1st, not to deal him on June 1st. So the fact that all these people, again, these talking heads in the media, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen on June 1st very shortly. They've been saying that for weeks now.
Yeah.
Weeks. We're 3 days past June 1st. I don't see an inkling of this guy getting dealt anytime soon. It's going to be a few weeks, and it's because people are still trying to gauge what someone's willing to pay.
Well, that's it. They're trying to get more out of teams.
100%.
That's why Seattle got brought into the picture. The Rams got brought into the picture. They're trying to get more out of the 49ers and the Titans. The Titans did not offer a first-round pick, which makes this next part hard for me to say because Josina Anderson was the one that was saying a first-round pick had been offered. Peter King came out and said, well, I haven't heard that. But now she's saying that they haven't got offered more than a mid-round pick. So what is it, Josina Anderson? And so that makes it like, do I believe that it was a mid-round pick? It's a mid-round pick.
It's a mid-round pick.
If it was a first-round pick, guess what? He's gone.
It's done already.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense to wait on Julio. Maybe we can get a first and a third. You're not going to wait for an additional third-round pick when you can get a first for Julio Jones right now at this point of his career.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer deal.
I mean, let's be honest. They're probably going to get less for Julio Jones because everyone knows they need to move him than they got for Mohamed Sanu.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is they can wait all the way to training camp. That's when they need to sign their rookies. That's when they need to make these deals. So they have until that time period to make this deal. So July is the deadline where they can move Julio. Mm-hmm. And along the way, though, other teams are making moves and doing 100%. Things. And you know what's going to happen? Some of these teams are going to price out. We already heard Rams are gone. Seattle's not as interested as they were. So right now, the only ones I'm hearing still are the Niners and Titans, and we have no idea about the Niners because no one knows about the 49ers.
It's true.
The Niners could call tomorrow and be like, hey, third-round Pittsburgh pick. Want it? Yep.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
The Mayhew move gets us Julio Jones. Mayhew leaving, that'd be great.
I'd give him a call, right? I would send him an email.
Thank you.
Send him a tweet.
Yeah.
Send him a quick tweet. Hey,
call the team, appreciate it. We're going to send some bagels over. Cream cheese is free. No worries for you.
One spread. You don't get two. Everyone gets one.
Let's be honest. If I had the same feeling as San Francisco when I saw wide receiver Jones to the 49ers. It was like, oh my gosh. And then they said his first name. And I'm like, oh, Andy.
Yeah.
I mean, who's that?
I just took my shirt off and sat there depressed.
I literally just sat there and was
sad.
like, what do you mean? Like, is that like, who's that? Does he have his name written on the bottom of his boot too?
I thought it was Andy Lee's twin brother from another mother.
I didn't even know who he was. I mean, let's be honest. I didn't know. I think there's still going to be more moves in the receiver room.
I don't disagree with you there. I think that's actually the most likely, right, is a receiver. Then is the next thing to do for the 49ers is a receiver. And Tommy, you asked, how excited would I be for Julio Jones? You didn't get to see me take off my shirt on the draft because it was just more of a sigh of relief that it was Trey Lance. Because the only way that shirt was coming off was if it was Zach Wilson. You will see a shirt come off on this podcast if we trade for Julio Jones. We will go live.
Oh.
I'm not going to do that, but we will go live, and my shirt will come off with excitement because Julio Jones to San Francisco. That would be the move of the offseason.
Yeah,
that would be one of the best moves of the offseason. I mean, it's not even close. Trading up for 3 looks like mere peanuts compared to Julio Jones to San Francisco for a mid-round pick or 2 mid-round picks.
Yeah,
or all of our mid-round picks.
I'm pretty sure that most. I'm going to say most because there's going to be people that are going to not like it.
There already are. We put out a little teaser on Facebook and sent it out to some of the groups just to get a feel. And I'll tell you what, it was like 50-50. I'm stunned by how split the 49ers fan base is. Everyone talks about faithful. The name Julio Jones and the Niners got trading for him, and it's like, why would we want an old guy who gets hurt all the time? I'm old, I get hurt, why don't they trade for me? No, you don't play football. Are you comparing yourself to Julio? What are you doing? Stop it.
He's played 14 games in every season except last year.
Last year was
14 games.
Last year was the
outlier.
He had one other game. He had one other season where I think he only played 5 or 6. But here's the key. He had like 600 yards receiving in 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's Julio Jones, and then there's like a big gap after that.
Let's be honest. If you put Julio in that offense with the talent that they have, it is the most impossible offense to stop. I mean, you're talking about record-breaking offense. These guys could be just completely nasty.
Record-breaking.
Yeah,
I like it.
It would be insane to watch because the things that he could do. Because Jalen Ramsey would be locked up with Julio Jones. You're getting everyone's best cornerback on Julio Jones. And then all these other guys are going to be able to operate against the second and third and fourth best DB on the team, which is not good. I mean, can you imagine Debo or Brandon Ayuk against their nickel corner? That's a win. All the time, that is a big-time win for the 49ers.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now,
take it to the bank?
You can take it to the Aaron Banks.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
100%.
it,
And also, our guy, Sac Francisco, he said that you're ducking him on Facebook.
I am not ducking him. I don't know what he's talking about, so I'm going to have to look at that.
He sent you a friend request, and he said you didn't approve it.
So I gotta take a look at that. I don't use my own Facebook page that often, so I apologize, Sac Francisco. I'll get right on that. I'll get right on it.
Yeah, how dare you?
I literally only use Facebook to post to our 49ers Cutback.
That's what I use it for, too.
That's about it. That's literally it. That's literally it. I don't use Facebook for
I go on
else.
there and send some birthday things.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Happy birthday.
It's every,
Yeah.
every, it's not often. It's not often. I literally just use Facebook for this.
Yeah.
I'm using Facebook. Thanks, Facebook. I appreciate it.
So Richburg retired. And I mean, we kind of touched on it.
We're not surprised by that.
No, but it's really good for the 49ers because it saved $1.5 million this year.
Yeah.
And then the 9.2 next year.
Which is great.
Because
especially with the salary cap going up, what, 22?
Yeah. Well, the ceiling is going to go up close to 27 million.
27, that's right, yeah.
The ceiling can go up close to 27 million, which means, I mean, a lot of people are like, well, the 49ers aren't going to have that much. They won't have enough to sign Julio. Well,
guys, it's called restructuring. He's already said he wants to go play for a contender.
Right.
That means he's willing to take less money.
Well, they could void the third year of his contract, and all that. But
that too.
It also, a lot of people are assuming, well, they only have this much, but James Garoppolo is still on the roster next year as far as his money still counts.
Mm-hmm.
If James Garoppolo is not on the roster, you're saving over $25 million.
On top of
what you're already going to have. You have plenty of money to make it work.
But here's the thing. The more that time passes now.
Don't say it. I know where you're going.
The more time passes, chat.
No.
And James Garoppolo is staying next season.
No, he's not.
He's staying, dude.
He is not staying.
He's staying next season.
Jimmy's window is this year.
Listen, we're going to win a Super Bowl this year, and then he's staying next year. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you.
No.
It's what's going to happen.
I don't care if he wins the Super Bowl. He's not going to be the quarterback.
He's going to be the quarterback next year.
He's not.
Chat, I want you to clip this right now. Clip it. Because YouTube added a clip feature. Clip this moment right now. Save it. Send it to us. So that way when it happens, for the first time in the history of I Win, which is Ant's game in which he always wins, he will lose. He will lose. And I'll have you to thank, chat, because you clipped the moment.
No.
It'll live on forever in, I was going to say infamy, but that wouldn't be infamy. That would be just for me.
You realize now, you've put yourself in this.
I always lose, though, and so it doesn't matter to me. I got nothing to lose.
You put yourself on this hill that you're going to get a TAF moment where I'm going to be able to be like, you don't understand football at all.
That's not what it is. It's just my support for Jimmy Garoppolo. It has nothing to do with football. It's just my support for Jimmy.
Well, I appreciate your support.
Jimmy is my redo for Alex Smith because I didn't want what happened to Alex to happen to Alex.
Yeah.
And so now I'm projecting all of those fears onto Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what's happening. I'm having Alex Smith PTSD over here.
I think he can keep his job if he plays really well this year. He can keep his job for this season. But I think at some point, you're going to start hearing the whispers unless he plays fantastic. If he
wins an MVP.
Well, even that. If he's having 2019-like numbers, he'll be fine.
I agree with
you. The 49ers think they can win a Super Bowl with him. And, I mean, since they got there, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
But if he's struggling at all, I mean, they won't put Trey in a situation to do bad, look bad, or get hurt. So they will just wait. But I think that there would be a push at that point.
No, I agree with you there. 1,000%. We'll go 1,000%. I won't even stick with 100. We'll go just way overboard. Way overboard. Just like I've been doing with most of my Jimmy takes. It's fine. Don't judge.
One guy, I don't know if you know much about him, but I saw him get released by the Chiefs yesterday, was Kamale Correa.
I don't know that much about him.
Okay, so he's an outside linebacker. He usually plays in the 3-4, which we talk about a lot. He spent some time with Tennessee, and he was drafted by Baltimore. He was a second-round pick out of Boise State. He's big and physical. He's a pretty impressive athlete. But as soon as he got cut, the first thing that popped in my mind was, well, the 49ers should take a look at this guy. I mean, he's got some ability. Yes, he got cut by the Chiefs, and But the Niners play a different scheme than everyone else.
Very true.
Putting his hand in the ground every single down. When he played with Tennessee in 2018, he had 3.5 sacks, and in 2019, or was it 2018? 2019, he had 5 sacks.
You are on the dot, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, the guy has some potential there, where you're looking at similar numbers to what you got from Ebukam. So you're like, maybe the Niners should take a look at him. He might be somebody they could
also,
they could take a look at. I thought as soon as I saw his name, he was somebody that stuck out to me.
Yeah, I mean, and you can make the argument all you want that because I'm looking at his stats right now, right? There's after those two, the 2018-2019 campaign last year, right? He had the 2 teams he was with in Jacksonville and Tennessee, but he only played 9 games last year.
Yeah,
he's dealing with some injuries, and he's probably not 100% recovered, which is probably why the Chiefs decided to part ways. So maybe with time, this guy could come in and contribute. I don't think adding defensive edge rush depth with this team right now, especially in camp, is a bad idea. This is actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
I think linebackers, edge rushers, and receivers, those 3 positions right now, adding depth at those positions, and tight end, those four specifically, those 4 positions, it just makes sense. You're hedging your bets in case there's injuries, in case something happens, getting guys in, familiarizing them with your system, because even if you part ways with them and they go on to other teams' practice squads, you can still, if they're not protected, sign them off the practice squad, and you don't have to worry about them having to pick up your entire system. They know the basics, and if they know the basics, they can function on an NFL roster.
Well, and he's still a guy that, let's be honest, was drafted by Baltimore.
Also true.
So Ozzie Newsome, and he doesn't miss on talent very often. So they saw something in him. So maybe getting into a scheme. You heard Ebukam this week talk about the fact that he no longer has to read on the way to the quarterback. He's just going, which gave us a very good idea of what his role is going to be, right? There was a lot of questions. Is he going to be an edge pass rusher? Is he going to be an outside linebacker? And now we know by what he said.
Yeah,
this is what we thought, but he's going to be going, and he's going to be going full speed, which means, yes, his numbers are going to go up in a big way.
It's true.
Which I'm excited about. I'm excited about him, but I just thought this guy would make sense for the 49ers possibly, to bring in.
No, I agree with you there. And listen, again, this comes down to just understanding basics of the system and success and how it's been had in San Francisco with Chris Kasarik.
Yeah.
Kerry Hyder away from Chris Kasarik is a guy who's probably out of the league in 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Kerry Hyder with Chris Kasarik just got himself a nice fat payday.
Yep.
Right guy, right system can lead to things that you didn't expect before.
100%.
People talk all the time about system quarterbacks, right? Guys who in the right system fit really well and have a lot of success, but the minute you remove them from the system, they're not the same guy anymore.
Yeah.
That has happened plenty of times in this league. So being every position player can be the same exact thing, right? You can put a guy in a situation where he wasn't having a lot of success before. You get him in with the right coach who understands what his strengths are, the right scheme that asks him to play to his strengths and not to his weaknesses. And all of a sudden, you get a guy who goes from, no production to he just can't seem to he seems like he's overwhelmed and lost on the field to, man, everything clicks. What happened? How did we miss? How do we not know this? It's because you were asking him to do too much.
Yeah.
Do less. Don't do too much, do less.
They're still doing too much, do less. Okay, you got to do more than that.
All right. I like you, Kudu.
Yeah. What's it stand for? Chuck. Yeah, I see Tommy asked a question, who will have the most impact on the 49ers D-line, Ebukam or Kinlaw?
This is a debate right here. This is a debate because both guys could have huge years. D'Amico Ryans is already hyping up Javon Kinlaw, as he should. Is he hyping up Javon Kinlaw, though, Ant, because Javon Kinlaw is going to have a big year? Or did, Javon Kinlaw walk in with, a dog in his mouth or something and looked at D'Amico Ryans and was like, I'm ready to go. And he was like, this dude's a psychopath. I mean, either one of those things is possible. Ebukam has the advantage for me here, and it's only because he's been in the league longer. He's already a more developed pass rusher, and that's what he's going to be asked to do. He's going to be in on more pass rush downs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kinlaw is going to do great and probably going to be an amazing run stopper and put up some godly tackle for loss numbers and some sacks this year as well. But there's going to be a lot of times where Kinlaw is asked to just eat things up and not make the play so that Warner can make a play Armstead can make a play, Bosa can make a play, Greenlaw can make a play, and it'll be less about Kinlaw's production is going to go up, and it's going to probably skyrocket up, but it's just not going to be what Ebukam's numbers are going to be because Ebukam he's going in there, like you said, downhill. You don't have any reads to make. Go get the guy with the football who's dropping back to make a pass downfield.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to put up more of those gaudy numbers, excuse me. And so it's going to overshadow Kinlaw a bit.
I think that if you're talking first and second down, it's going to be Kinlaw. If you're talking third down, it's going to be Ebukam. Because I think Ebukam is going to be very successful against the pass, just like you were alluding to. And then I think as far as the run game, Kinlaw is going to be a beast and on a different level. Also, I think Kinlaw's numbers are going to go up because also in the sack department because they're going to be running from Ebukam. They're going to be running from Bosa, and they're going to have to step up into that pocket where Kinlaw and DJ Jones are going to be waiting, where Eric Armstead is going to be waiting, and those sack numbers are going to go up. So I wouldn't be shocked if Ebukam didn't have 9 or 10 sacks this season, and we still thought Kinlaw had a better season because he had 7 or 8 sacks, and he had a heck of a run-stopping ability.
That is accurate indeed, my dude. Very accurate. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, this defense is going to be able to feed off of each other, right? That's the thing that we know with 100% certainty. You have too many weapons, too many pieces, too many guys with too many strengths, and you can play them in a variety of ways that it makes it too hard to focus on any one guy, which is what happened a lot last year with all the injuries. You were able to focus on Armstead. You were able to put Kinlaw in tough situations, right? You were able to isolate your linebackers in space because you didn't have too much to worry about on the interior. And then you were fine with Kerry Hyder going out there and making 2 or 3 plays a game because it just wasn't enough.
It was also the best you had.
Also true.
I see that,
Also true.
Fable said, not sure how low you Ebukam maybe in coverage a bit.
They will at times.
I think a zone blitz, but let's be clear. He's been working with Chris Kasarik.
He has not been working with the linebacker.
No, he's been working with Chris Kasarik. So he's working on D-line moves. He said they told him to stop reading. I mean, they're basically just telling him, you're really fast, get around the corner and go.
And be fast.
This is going to be the best situation for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's had seasons where he's, came close to, 5 sacks. This guy can get double digits. That's how talented he is, and he's going to be playing opposite of Nick Bosa.
Oh.
I mean, this guy is...
That's so nice.
This guy's going to be going against the second best tackle on the team, not the first best usually. And that's going to be big time for him. I think he's going to skyrocket, and the numbers are going to go up. Early in this season, don't be surprised if this 49ers D-line doesn't completely overwhelm their first 2 opponents, and Ebukam doesn't walk away with like 3 or 4 sacks. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, like this guy's on pace, to destroy it.
How could the Rams just not...
Part of his system, right? Scheme. 100%.
100%. They didn't need him in that role. That's not what he was used for. That's not what his responsibility was.
Yeah. And, as far as Fable, was saying, we also think he's going to be used in coverage on zone blitzes and stuff. He'll drop out. He'll take running backs. He'll probably jam tight ends off the line sometimes.
I mean, that's the one I think you're going to see most prevalent, right? Is having a guy like K'Wan Williams in the slot, pressed up like he's going to be running bump coverage on a guy, like he's matched up and manned up.
Yeah.
Bringing him off that edge, having Ebukam rough up a tight end coming off the line, and then drop out into space.
Well, and they also had Hyder go into coverage. They've had Nick Bosa go into coverage. So they've definitely do it with somebody
They've also just had Nick Bosa make
They'll also do it with somebody that runs a freaking 4.5 40.
That too.
Oh, by the way, that guy I was talking about earlier, Correa, 4.6.
Dude, do it.
Right? I like the athletic guys.
Do it.
I do.
And that kind of speed off the edge, you don't find that in defensive ends typically. Like not every D end is running 4.6s, 4.5s. It's just not a thing that they're doing. Yeah. So I mean, if you can add a guy like that with that kind of speed, who knows? Maybe you're right. That's what's going on.
Yeah. What's up to Blake? Happy birthday to Blake, turning 6 years old. That's big time.
You old, man.
Yeah.
You're old.
I don't know about the whole Saints thing though. I read that.
But he's 6, right? He's got time.
Yeah.
He's got time to figure it out. Listen, come over to this is the light side, right? We're not the dark side?
I don't know. We are the Empire, so.
We are the Empire. Come over to the dark side. It's fun over here, my guy.
It is.
It's fun. We don't have like a lot of dark stuff going on. The only person doing dark things is Kenny with the humor in the chat, but that's about it. It's a lot of fun other than that.
100%.
Oh, big time. Big time. No, I'm really excited about that. And you know what, Correa? You know what? The more you say it, I definitely need to go watch film now.
Yeah.
I want to do some film study on this dude because if the speed is still there, again, it's another potential weapon in the arsenal for this defense. And if something happens and a guy goes down, you have another speedy guy you can bring up off the edge, who you can take time to develop. You don't have to rush him onto the field. And he's still young enough. He's not an old guy.
Yeah,
He was drafted what, like 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, he's a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's somebody that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with.
On the cheap?
You know, somebody's going to pick him up. I just kind of hope it's the 49ers.
Please.
Yeah.
San Francisco, what's up? Make it happen. You can do it. You can do it before Julio, but if you can get Julio too,
what percentage would you put on the 49ers getting Julio?
If I had to give like a percentage number, like an actual number, I would say that it is about 25%. No, 27%. Slightly above a quarter. They're competing with other teams, but there's also a part of me that doesn't believe, honestly, that Atlanta's ready to pull the trigger yet. So until that happens, it's hard to give it more than a quarter of a percentage.
They're waiting. Waiting for a good deal. The fact that they haven't made a deal makes me think the Niners are still involved.
Oh, I agree with you there.
That the Niners are at least in the realm of possibilities.
If you had to make me put a percentage on the amount of opportunity that the Niners are going to be doing this, I would say that they're 100% still involved.
Yeah.
In at least the trade discussion.
There is absolutely no way Kyle's not keeping tabs on this.
Dude, Kyle is every night. He's probably texting Julio. Hey man, only 3 more days until I get to see you again.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there in bed at night. He's so happy. Oh man. I would absolutely love that. And you know, it would be even better if that were true. If Kyle were actually just sitting there in his bed at night. He's looking at his wife. She's like, how to practice go today? He's like, good, but I can't stop thinking about Julio.
What did San Francisco ask? I see him saying that he was asking about a 4-3, having all those beasts on the field at once will be treacherous. Is he talking about running a 3-4? Is that what he's talking about?
I think he's just talking about all the different potentials with Ebukam on the field. I think he was asking more, is Ebukam going to be a linebacker in that 4-3? Do you put him in a linebacker for coverage purposes with the additional pieces? I mean, listen, that could 100% happen. You could do something like stick him in as a linebacker, right, and blitz him off the edge, or just have him play coverage. I mean, you could do that, but is that what his day one role is going to be? No, I don't think so at all. It's going to be off the edge.
Right, you're talking wrinkles.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm trying to think of it and put it all in my head, you know, just like all the different guys.
They could, like in a situation where they run like a 5, if they go to a 5-2 look on an obvious rundown, you could see him on the field as an outside guy who could drop into coverage if they give the right look.
Yeah.
Can see that.
I mean, I think it's going to be, they're going to bring 4 or 5 guys, you know, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I do think that there's going to be situations. I think I'm most excited to see what will happen if D Ford's healthy. You know, just that alignment, getting him out there with Ebukam, with Bosa, with Armstead is just ridiculous. There's no speed rush like that in the NFL. None. No. There's nobody that can touch it.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Could we see wrinkles where they give more of a 3-4 look? I don't see why not.
Listen, I think at the end of the day, right, it's already kind of come out that DeMeco Ryans is looking to make this defense into his own. He wants to mold this thing a little bit into the DeMeco Ryans image of what he wants to be as a I saw that. Hi, Kylie, you're funny. DeMeco Ryans mold, he wants to mold the defense, right? Yeah. He wants it to be his own thing to an extent. He's not going to like go full ego trip on this. But that means, I think part of it is separate. How do you separate yourself from Saleh? You be a little more aggressive with your blitzes, a little more creative with your packages, not be so stuck in the cover 3 mold. Those are the ways that he's going to be able to accomplish it and get it done.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if you see some 3-4 looks in certain situations. If you don't see some more man coverage, if you don't see some more creative blitzes or just more blitzing in general, that wouldn't shock me in the slightest.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of different stuff. He said he's going to put his wrinkles and his stamp on the defense, which I think he is. And it's going to be very fun, you know, to see. I think it is. It's going to be fun to see what these guys do, what he's able to come up with, what creativity he has, where he can send guys from. Like, I honestly think anyone could come from anywhere at any time as far as blitz goes.
If DeMeco Ryans is able to diagnose defenses at an insane level for a rookie defensive coordinator, does his nickname become the Dr. DeMeco Ryans?
I don't know. I don't know what his nickname is going to be.
It's going to be the Doctor.
I think it's got to be fluid. Something's got to be fluid. Like, we just got to let it happen.
It's gonna be Doctor.
And as far as the horse goes, since Kylie asked about the horse, the horse is going out of town. So he is not in the vicinity at the time of this, so he will be going somewhere else.
True.
So he's on a little trip. We hope he stays safe.
He's on the road again.
Yeah.
He can't wait to be back in studio again. I can promise you that. 946. Congrats, guys. Lou, we appreciate that a lot. And Gary is right on it again. Stream bots, our special Gary prompt. Hit it, stream bots. Take care of it. Thank you so much for doing that. It's great when Streambot does what it's programmed to do. It's too bad it's not helping me with the old chat on the screen.
Yeah, that's not working so good.
No, it hasn't been working today. I'm not very happy with that. We'll have to call tech support because we totally have that. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that has any questions too, start throwing them out there. We'll start answering questions as we continue to talk about the 49ers because I've really been enjoying the questions and that everyone's been saying so.
No, I agree there. And yes, David, D'Amico Ryans does look like he can still lace him up.
Speaking of that, did everyone see Daryl Tapp?
Yeah, that was savage, dude.
Yeah.
That fire off on the bags?
Yeah.
On the sled? Oh.
I saw it on IG. He's hitting it, and I mean he got off quick.
Super quick.
And
dude.
People were like, "Oh, 49ers defensive assistant line coach has got some skills." It's like, dude, that's Daryl freaking Tapp. Like, he's good. He played in the NFL for 12 years. Like, he's not a joke.
No.
Heck of an edge rusher.
No. I mean, that D-line group looks like it's having so much fun, by the way. So much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think outside of the quarterback room, and for me, specifically the quarterback room, because I love watching film. And so getting in a room with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance would just be a lot of fun for me personally.
Yeah.
That would be the position group that I'd want to spend all of my time with at camp, is that D-line group, maybe the linebacker group as well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For me, it's the lines. It's the O-line and the D-line.
D-line specifically.
That's exciting. Also, the wide receiver position, because we have the unanswered questions about Jalen Hurd, Travis Benjamin, Jawan Jennings.
But they haven't been going so far.
Mohamed Sanu.
That's true.
So, I mean, there are a lot of questions because we don't know who's going to be 3. So I think the Niners have questions and things that are fun to talk about.
I know who's going to be 3.
Mohamed Sanu.
No.
Jalen Hurd.
No. Julio Jones.
Julio Jones would be 1. That would make, what,
no.
Naik or Debo 3?
No, he's 3.
Oh, heck no.
He's 3.
Now you're tripping.
No, because it's 1A, 1B, and 1C. You have 3 1s.
Well, then they're all 1s, and we don't have a 3.
That's right!
It would just go straight to 4.
That's right!
I seen Jag asking about the injuries. Jag, don't be concerned about the injuries. This is normal stuff that happens with these soft tissue injuries when you're first getting back into football shape. You will see them come. It happens a lot during OTAs and a lot during minicamp. Hopefully when they get into training camp, we will see less and less of these. The when you should be concerned is if you hear these at the end of training camp. You start hearing these towards the end, when you're in the preseason games and you're hearing about guys being hurt, then that's when you should show concern, but not during OTAs. It's just not something that it's not something to worry about because this stuff happens all the time.
All the time. And
it's heightened for some reason. Injury talk is heightened around here more than ever with people talking about it. I think we're kind of feeling the effects of previous years of injuries. And it's kind of skewing our outlook on it. This happens at teams all over the place during this time, but no one really has to worry about it. But I think also, I do think our media, our local media, kind of blow it up a little bit more than most.
Do you think?
I think so.
They haven't been doing that at all, like this entire time.
Yeah,
right? They haven't been.
I seen Gary ask us too about what's your opinion on Javon Couture. My opinion is I saw very little film of him. I watched some to get familiar. To me, he's not somebody that's ready to do anything in the NFL for the next couple years. I would actually be surprised if they signed him, but if they did, I would think it would be in a tight end role.
That's my thought, and that's because tight end has been the focal point. So most of the guys they've been bringing in have been offensive weapons, right? They've been looking at wide receivers, they've been looking at tight ends. So if they're bringing this guy in and there's no real position for him, it kind of has to be the direction they're at least leaning. Does that mean that's what it's going to end up being? No, but you know what you don't do at the NFL level? You don't come in without a position and then bounce around from position to position while you try and figure it out. He's going to have to fit somewhere for them to even sign him to a roster.
Well, he's a similar size as Peterson, so I mean that is what you're looking at. But I think that they had a guy on the roster last year that was better than him. One of your guys, Mr. Poindexter.
That's true.
Than him, that's nowhere. I don't think he's on a roster.
Sean Poindexter is not doing anything currently.
I see.
Not great. Not great.
Oh, Kenny's asking about us having a call-in show. I think that's something we can look into. You know, have people call in. I think that's something we could look into.
That's kind of. I mean, it's something that we've discussed and we've talked about, but it just hasn't been something that we haven't executed.
We haven't executed. Well, we haven't gotten into it yet. We kind of have stages in which we're moving forward, and that's something we see in the horizon, but we haven't got there yet.
Correct. And in all honesty, guys, we want to make sure too that we want to provide other ways for you guys to communicate with us. But it just comes down to having the things in place, right? And we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin and try and do what some of these other shows do already, and not do it well, because we've watched other streams and other content creators try and do these types of things, and expand into something they're not familiar with, and it goes really, really badly. And that's the big thing for us, is we want to make sure that if we do this, we do it not only right, but better. We want to do it better than other people are doing it. Because it wouldn't make any sense for us to just do something someone else is doing, or to expand on something if we're not going to do it to the best of our abilities. Yeah,
we have to be able to operate it well, you know, and we will get there. There are lots of things that we're taking our time on, making sure that we roll it out when we're supposed to. This has been a build that we've been, you know, working on and meticulously doing things the right way that we feel is best for the show, and that will eventually be the best for all the viewers. So I think that's really what we've been working on. But things are going to come. Things are coming in stages.
True.
I did see Rob saying, "Is Horse picking up a sandwich?"
He's probably going to be picking up quite a bit of sandwiches.
I'm sure he's going to eat a sandwich. He does enjoy sandwiches.
He does. He likes the sandwiches.
He does.
I don't think you guys. I think we're underselling.
Yeah.
Let me be. He loves sandwiches.
Yeah. I mean, if Subway would like to give him some sort of a deal, I'm sure he would take it. You know, to give the whole Happy Gilmore talk about a hole in one. I'm pretty sure he would do that. Megan's asking, are we going to try to go to a game? Yeah, I mean, I think we are.
We've definitely talked about it. We've discussed. But again, it's another one of those things where if we're at a game, it is NWO time. If we're at a game, we have this.
Yeah.
We're working out those details.
Yeah.
We're working them out.
We're working out. And I see Jay in the Bays in the chat. What's up, Jay in the Bay?
Shout out, Jay.
Always appreciate having Jay.
Hey, Jay, check your Twitter DMs after this ends.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is true. Cut back in the crew. Definitely Jay Ellie.
The crew's all here.
The crew's real. And they're here. And they're here in force, and they're all chatting it up, which is awesome. Love. Chat is always going good, which is fun.
It's always a great time. Look, I don't want to get away from what Jag said earlier, because Jag had brought up the injuries again, and I know he had come in a little bit late. But there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to worry about. Like you said, Ant, at the end of OTAs, at the end of training camp, coming into preseason, if we got some of these injuries still lingering and lasting, that's when the worry button needs to get that panic button, the meme, right, where they're smashing the panic button.
Yeah.
Panic, not panic, and they go for the panic button. That's when you hit it. Right now is not the time to be hitting the panic button. Here's the great news. They haven't been referring to these things as maintenance days.
Yeah.
Right? These aren't maintenance days by any means whatsoever.
Expect them.
These, Hurd, yes.
In training camp,
Bosa, yes.
In training camp, you're going to see, that's why they're going to have so many receivers. Some of these receivers are going to have days off.
Yeah.
Ayuk, Debo, Jalen Hurd. Travis Benjamin.
I want to start the season with all three of those guys healthy for the love of everything good and holy in this world. Please. I think we'd all like an on-site show, even just one. We get it, Megan. You want me out of the house. You don't want me around. You want me at a game. I understand, sweetheart.
Well, jeez. I think we would like an on-site show.
I would love an on-site show.
You know, making it all work. I mean, let's be honest. It's something we've talked about. It's something we're interested in doing. But once again, we're not going to do it until we are ready to do it.
Correct.
We 100% need to be able to pull it off. I mean, we
need to be able to. It needs to stream well, right?
Yep.
It's got to be clear. The audio's got to be good. We want the stream quality to be good. The video,
yeah.
You know, we don't want it grainy and nasty, and you guys being like, "What are you saying? It's really windy over there. Oh, the glare from the sun off the camera. I can't tell what you guys are doing. I can't see it. We don't want any of that. Like, we want it to be clean. We want it to be concise. We want it to look good, and we want it to be fun. Because one of the things we've been talking about is if we do something like that, having other people there and around to partake while we're there.
100%.
I mean, that's another thing that we're thinking about. So there's a lot that goes into the planning. There's a lot that goes into that kind of stuff. And we're gonna try and make sure that we do it good.
Yeah.
Well, not good. Great.
Great.
Let's be honest. Great. We're gonna try and make sure it's great, and we're gonna try and set a high standard for it.
Yeah, we're grinding on all that stuff. We're meeting about it. We're talking about it. We're planning things. JLE's asking if we talked about Cole Pruitt, right?
Yep.
We did talk about Cole Pruitt.
Shout out Kevin B.
Yeah, thanks for the sub, Kevin B. We appreciate it. We do very much enjoy his blocking aspect of Cole Pruitt. I think the questions is the passing, but I think this is the Charlie Warner. That's what we were talking about. Charlie Warner and him are the guys that, are kind of the same. So I think right now he's that guy pushing Charlie Warner. The question is, at some point, do they look, and maybe Delaney Walker wasn't 100% yet, do they look later and be like, we need to bring in Delaney Walker too? I know Grant Cohn's talking about how buffed Dwelly is. I mean, that's his new thing, is that Dwelly's buffed. And Dwelly's put on some size. I don't know if I'd call him buffed. You put him next to George Kittle, he doesn't look buff. But if they bring in Delaney Walker, that could be nervousness for Dwelly.
I would be nervous
because, I mean, let's be honest. George Kittle already put our guy in tight end U already, and he's not even on the team. He just tried out. So Delaney Walker's already in there.
I know.
So I think there is a possibility of later on Delaney Walker, maybe right before training camp, kind of when we got the whole Jordan last year.
Yeah.
We could see that happen.
And there could be another move at tight end, and you should hit that subscribe button right now so that, you're here when that video goes live and premieres. There it goes.
Message.
I don't want to spoil. I spoiled stuff. I'm trying not to. It's just exciting. We start talking about things. I get excited. I can't control myself. I let spill an episode, and, there goes the surprise. And sorry, I don't want to do that.
Well, I think people like to when they know what's coming up.
That's true.
Then they can get excited about what's coming up, the future videos and stuff.
Is that permission? Is that permission to spoil? I'm still leaning on Eifert for receiving tight end.
Tyler Eifert, huh?
No, Eifert.
Yeah, I mean, he's still out there. He's going to be cheap.
He is going to be cheap. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never been a big Eifert fan, to be honest with you. I really haven't. Nothing he's ever done has been to me. I never watched Tyler Eifert play and been like, whoa, man, Tyler Eifert. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, that guy. Whoo! I've never, that thought, those emotions, he doesn't elicit emotions from me. He just doesn't. So it's like, I hear Tyler Eifert, it's like, okay, cool. It's like when we signed Cole Pruitt. I was like, oh, okay. I get it. I understand. It's just there's not, outside of I said it, right? He's been on more teams than stats. So
yeah, but he's using a specific role. I think that's what you're looking at, is the role he's going to be using in San Francisco,
which is blocking.
Yeah,
and they need it.
Yeah, unless
I don't trust Charlie Warner.
Yeah, maybe not yet.
Not yet. He's got a long way to go to earn my trust.
He definitely didn't impress last year, and he didn't impress in the blocking, which I thought he was going to dominate in the blocking.
Well, that was the thing, right? He talked about how he wanted to mold himself after Kittle, in terms of the loving of the blocking and wanting to make those sacrifices and be that type of player. And I just didn't see it. I got to know, the good head of hair like the, oh my. You go to a Niner game in a hat. I have in the past, right? If day games especially, I'll wear a hat.
Yeah.
Day game, want to block the sun, all that. Night game though, oh heck no. I'm letting these gorgeous locks flow.
Gorgeous locks.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
They were longer, I could do that, but they're not. I haven't rocked a mullet since like 96.
It's out in public, so you know what's happening. I'm wearing a hat.
True.
And no, I'm not bald.
I do. Megan is correct. You're not bald. Not even close.
No.
Actually, Ant has a nice, luscious locks of hair also.
There's only one of us that's bald.
He's not here.
No.
He's not. He's on the road again. And yes, Megan is correct. I do have a closet full of hats. I actually collect them.
Yeah.
I actually collect original logoed NFL teams hats. If you know of a place that's selling, like, I need a Broncos, the original logo, I haven't been able to find one yet. Find one of those. You could, let me know. If it's if it's a ways away, I need some time to get there. So maybe, I don't know, stall for me. But other than that,
A lot of people are enjoying your head of hair.
it's weird.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
It's a tube.
Now it's real. It's real.
Luckily, we don't have a fan right on you.
Oh gosh, man. Oh gosh. J Ellie, take it back. Eifert brought me many fantasy football victories. I've never drafted Tyler Eifert in fantasy football for that specific reason. He doesn't give me the feels.
I haven't either.
And doesn't play fantasy.
I don't play fantasy football.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Ant thought about playing fantasy football and then realized it wasn't worth it.
Then I just carried on living my life.
Just carried on, just doing what I was doing. Oh goodness gracious! Oh goodness gracious me! So yeah, no, I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing what other moves the Niners have left in the tank. What else they're going to be doing, because they're not done by any means.
Oh, no way!
Not even a little bit. I don't think either of us feels that way. I know Horse doesn't feel that way. I would be surprised if there's any Niner fans that truly feel like there's not another move still out there that they're going to make. Whether that's Richard Sherman bringing him back, whether that's Tyler Eifert bringing him in. I'm just kidding, JLE. I don't like him. I don't dislike him that much. Or whether that's, the Julio Jones trade or trading for another guy, going out there and picking up someone else, or if another team cuts a player, because there's still teams out there and there's still names floating out there that teams are considering cutting because they're no longer producing at what you paid them for contract-wise. Right? They're no longer doing the things that you were paying them an elite level to do. And so you could see surprise guys get cut. It is post-COVID year, folks.
Mm-hmm.
The craziness has just begun.
Well, and Crowder, Saleh came out and said Crowder's having negotiations with the Jets front office about his contract. So they're wanting him to take a pay cut. He's not going to want to do it. So there's potential there for him to get cut.
Man, that'd be nice, dude.
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder in San Francisco. That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one.
It's interesting.
That's another upgrade over Kendrick Bourne.
Right. But, I mean, if you already have these other guys healthy, do you need him?
Probably not, but again, depth.
Yeah.
Making sure.
Maybe he wants to come to the left coast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Justin Houston. What about bringing in Justin Houston?
I would love it. I just don't know what amount of money he's going to want to play for.
That's the problem.
I think that if they knew D Ford wasn't coming back, I definitely think they would go Justin Houston or one of those guys.
Makes sense.
I mean, that dude would be great on the edge for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a veteran who knows what he's doing. He's got a great ability. Still got a very good first step, good hand placement, able to bend the corner. I mean, there's lots of things to like about him. The fact he's not signed makes me think he's just wanting money. That's just
and the longer it goes, one of two things happens. He's not gonna get the money he wants, or he's waiting because there are options out there for him. Mm-hmm. There are teams that have offered him close to what he wants, and so it's a bidding war now. He's just kind of playing the field, waiting for something to be at or above what he wants.
Well, and Ingram's out there too, and he's not signed.
That's true.
Those are big name guys that are getting towards the end of their career,
mm-hmm. but
still, I mean, if they're going to be on a very good football team,
and if you're not following the drama in Minnesota, there's Danielle Hunter. Also, he's having issues. He wants more money. He wants to get paid what he's worth, and his worth is very, very high. The Vikings, as of right now, have stood firm that they're not going to renegotiate his contract.
I like that.
And that could spell problems in Minnesota with Danielle Hunter. And who knows, maybe Danielle Hunter ends up in San Francisco. No, that one would be really hard.
Yeah.
That one would be really hard. But they should definitely explore the option.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so.
They're not going to want to give up what they'll have to give up.
Yeah, there's a lot. You have to give up a lot for that.
mean, the only reason we're even thinking Julio is a possibility is because it could take mid-round picks. Danielle Hunter's a first-round pick for sure.
Or you're going to have to give up, a future first and a player.
Oh, a big-time player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone
should ask Grant Cohn. Maybe he'll be like, yeah, you keep Danielle Hunter in and trade him Fred Warner in the first.
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to trade All-Pro Fred at this point.
I hope to God nobody wants to trade All-Pro Fred at this point.
No one wants to. Except for Kenny. Kenny doesn't want to pay a middle linebacker.
Oh, Kenny. But Kenny sometimes, I swear.
I
swear.
But overall, I think that there are interesting options out there. Houston was definitely a good one. I think that's somebody to keep an eye on. The one I'm worried about is corner. You know what I mean? Would I love to have somebody that could ultimately make it so Dante Johnson wasn't on the roster, somebody that's an improvement over him? Yes. But I mean, I think they're planning on going with E-Man as a starter.
It looks that way.
And if they are, then there's Sherman's not coming back. And I see these other guys the other teams are signing these other corners that would have been considered close to that area. So, I mean, it's going to be one of those things where a marriage between Sherman and the 49ers might not be happening.
Might not be in the cards.
And maybe he does end up there's no way he's going to play a backup role. I can't see it. So,
don't see it at all.
I tried to talk myself into it and I couldn't. Made conversation with myself.
Ant and I have had this conversation off stream and off videos before where I've said that maybe this is maybe Richard Sherman has had his come to Jesus moment, his aha moment, as it were. He's a smart guy. He doesn't want to not play in the league still. He still wants to make some money. He can still make really good money in the league being a backup.
Yeah.
Or being a guy who plays situationally. And I've mentioned that to Ant. I said, maybe he's had that moment where he's realized it, and Ant under no circumstances is ready to buy that to be the case.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I do like what Fable said about none of the guys having championship rings and they'd be willing to play for little. Yeah, we talked about this before, kind of that Ricky Jackson 1994 where they come in, play for cheap to win a championship. There are guys who are going to get to that point. If they don't get the deal that they want, they'll be more willing to make to win a championship and play for less. But they're always going to try to get as much money as they can first. But yeah, I think that's 100% that could happen.
I disagree with you, Jag. I disagree with you on that there. He said, don't you think it seems every year we end up paying out so much money on players that get injured, and then we have to scramble to get a player to fit in our system? No. I don't think that happens every year. It didn't happen in 2019.
I think if you're looking at it in a vacuum, then you're right.
Yeah.
Because you paid D Ford, you paid Jimmy Garoppolo, you've paid some of these guys and they haven't been able to contribute. Weston Richburg, but I think it's the hype McKinnon. So when you look at it that way, yeah, there's been a lot. But I guess it's the high price guys that have kind of not worked out.
Is it though? I mean, over the last 3-4 seasons, right? They have signed north of 300 players.
Yeah,
we're talking about 5.
But we're talking about the big name guys.
I get that they're the big name, maybe bigger money guys,
right.
maybe bigger money guys, but we have plenty of other big money guys on the roster who played games and were healthy.
Well, the guys that it's worked out for are, guys like Kyle Juszczyk. It's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
We brought him in. Richard Sherman, overall, he got hurt, but it worked out because 2019 was so great.
Mm-hmm. I would say the same thing for Jimmy, though, because 2019, the way Jimmy played, I get that last year happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's be honest. Last year was just a snowball effect of awful.
But you were expecting great years in 2018, 2019, and 2020.
2018, fluke. 2019, everything that Niner fan hoped for. 2020, a compound of issues.
Yeah.
But a lot of those issues aren't on... none of Jimmy's injuries are because of Jimmy.
I know, but I think I can see how Jag is looking at it.
I get that.
Yeah. Because it is, if you really start looking in a vacuum, all those names are the big names. All their lower underrated signings have worked out fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Verrett, injury guy, it's worked out fantastic. Trading for Trent Williams, looks like it's going to work out fantastic. Richburg in small premise was good. 2019 when he was healthy was good, but once again, a guy that just couldn't beat the injuries. I mean, yeah, that's how it looks. But that's also the same thing we were saying.
D4, 2019, phenomenal.
Well, you're also looking to, you could say that about the 49ers first-round picks, right? Because they had Solomon Thomas.
That was not good.
Yeah, and then they had, what's the linebacker's name from Alabama?
Reuben Foster.
Reuben Foster, thank you. It was glaring because of that, but everyone since then has been pretty good.
And here's the thing. You can mitigate some of the damage of your first-round pick not hitting by smashing a grand slam in the 5th.
Yeah.
In the 5th round with a Fred Warner and George Kittles and things of that nature.
Right.
Like you can make up for the fact that you didn't hit in that first round. And let's be honest, I had this conversation with a guy who said everyone's on Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas wasn't that bad. And I had to have that conversation with him. It's like, my argument isn't that Solomon Thomas isn't that bad. Solomon Thomas is a solid NFL player who's going to probably play for 10, 12 years in the league.
Yeah.
He's not a top 5 pick.
Agreed.
That's the problem.
I think
the problem with Solomon Thomas is that we spent a 5th round, like with a pick 5 overall, I think is what it was, or was it 7?
It was 3rd.
It was 3rd. Okay,
we traded back. Just
That's right. That's right. So, so we get him 3rd overall, right?
Yeah.
He didn't produce. He produces like a late 1st, 2nd round, 3rd round guy. That's what he is. He was a back end of the 1st round, 2nd round talent. Well, production-wise, what he's done so far, and it just hasn't worked out. And part of it is, like you said in our Gold Rush video, we're talking about him a little bit. He's kind of a tweener. He's that tweener role.
Yeah, and if you would have flipped him and Kittle would have been the 3rd pick, and he would have been the 5th round, no one would bat an eye. I'll be honest. When you said he's not that bad, all I kept thinking was the fact you have to say he's not that bad.
Probably means that he's that bad.
That was the first thing that popped in my head, but. You're right. I mean, all these things, hindsight is 20/20, and you're looking at it. But the 49ers overall have made great strategic moves, and I think they have learned from their mistakes. They were trying to catch lightning in a bottle and sign guys that maybe had injury concerns so they could get very good talent in there and play at high levels without having to pay as much with some of the guys. And then some of the guys, they just knew they needed guys. They needed key guys in certain spots. Weston Richburg they needed. Kyle Juszczyk they needed. They were looking for a quarterback, and it was going to be Jimmy Garoppolo or it was going to be Kirk Cousins, and it just happened to be Jimmy Garoppolo because he was available early. So
thank God, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank God. People are upset right now about Jimmy. Can you imagine if it was Kirk?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Folks, can you imagine if it was Kirk? Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Megan had asked a question earlier, and we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, let me know if we missed any questions.
She said, okay, real talk, which means she's serious. She never says real talk. Real talk, yeah.
Okay.
In their prime, Brady or Montana, who do you take? She feels like she already knows the answer, but she's curious to see if there's any surprises.
Montana. I don't even have to think twice. You put Montana in this era, Montana wins more championships and does more things because he wouldn't have got hurt. Because he would have been protected by the NFL. I mean, it's a different era and a different world. That's why I don't really like comparing people from different eras, because I think you look at Montana in his era with different rules, and even the receivers were able to get mugged. It was a different type of football compared to now. I think Tom Brady is great now. I think Joe Montana was great in the 80s. I think you just have to keep people into the realm where they were. I think really, if you're looking at it, that's how you should look at it. But I'm never going to back off Montana. I'm never going to back off Jerry Rice.
I can't pick Brady. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have to pick Montana. And it's just because of the era he played in at the time with the rules the way they were. Man, how he did it. Because no one did it. No one did that. No one did what Montana did before Montana did it.
You know what else Montana never did? Lose a Super Bowl.
True. Everything Brady is doing is to be better than Montana.
Yeah.
Just like this is like the same conversation you have with LeBron and MJ in basketball on the other side all the time. People talk about this. It's hard to compare the two because the style of the game is so differently. But if you ask me which era is harder to play in, it was Montana's era because of the physicality of the game, both on quarterbacks and receivers. Yep. Let's not forget that, folks. It was way harder to be a receiver back during those days than it is now. Receivers get pretty much free releases.
Yeah.
They get free releases, folks.
Could you imagine Jerry Rice playing with all the free releases? It's ridiculous. John Taylor probably would have been Pro Bowler every year, too.
Yeah, the Niners would have had two of the best wide receivers in the league.
Oh, 100%.
Easy. And so the game is just different. But if you put Montana, who was great when the rules weren't as strict, or weren't as restrictive, right? There was more freedom. He was amazing. Put him in an environment where the rules are more restrictive for everyone else around you, he's going to excel and he's going to exceed. He's going to do even more than he already did because it's easier to do the things that he was already doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conversation, and I think Megan's right. It's kind of one of those comparing guys from different eras is always hard.
Also, Flabe said a great thing there. No salary cap in the 80s.
No, there wasn't. Yeah, I know that's one of the big complaints from one of my uncles. Niners bought every Super Bowl they ever had.
Okay.
Cool, man.
That was the rules, right?
I'm sorry I had a rock star owner and you didn't.
Those are the rules, right?
Go wear teal.
Yeah, there you go. He was a magician. Yeah. He was a magician. Is it fair to think that we lost the Super Bowl because of injuries to our offensive line and we lost depth to our D line? We couldn't keep pressure on Mahomes?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
If we would have had the full rotation of that defensive line in the
Super
Super
Bowl's a
Bowl,
wrap.
it's a wrap. We had Cattell, and who was the other guy that was out there rushing the passer?
Not good.
We brought back what's his name? Earl Mitchell.
Yeah.
He was retired, and they brought him back. They're like, oh, here's number 93. Go have fun.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and they played pretty good, but it's just not the same.
No, it's not the same.
It wasn't the same as having Ronald Blair and Julian Taylor and.
That's the thing that has killed the Niners the last 2 years, right? It's just depth at those positions.
Yep.
And the Niners have now addressed it. They addressed it last year a little bit because we talked about how deep this D line was, and then the injuries mounted to key players, and all of a sudden we're like, well, this line is still deep. It's just doesn't have the same punch that it had. It was still a good D line. It just didn't have the same punch. Now you brought in Kerr. Oh, Kinlaw, another. Oh, Samson. Oh,
I know.
It's Wednesday, my dude every day when I think about the D line. Ah, it's great. This D line is more stacked than last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think that was possible.
You need a mister? You okay over there?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, kind of worked up there.
I'm all right.
Yeah, I saw Jay Ellie say John Taylor was vastly underrated.
Agreed.
John Taylor, this might surprise a lot of people, my favorite 49ers receiver of all time.
That's definitely a surprise.
I love Jerry, but John Taylor was my favorite. I loved his running style. I love that he could catch a ball and go 90 yards. I know Jerry could do it too, but something about John always stuck out to me.
It's true.
So he's my favorite receiver.
Brad asks, who's the backup to Lance next season in 2022? This is a question that Ant is chomping at the bit to answer.
Nate Sudfeld? I don't know. Probably
Jay in the Bay said at Josh Rosen.
You know what? I don't know. To be honest with you, I would think they would want to have a veteran. If they think that Sudfeld or Rosen step up, kind of get ahead of the other one, I would think it would be one of them. But I would think that they'd want a quarterback that kind of you thought you could win football games with, and I don't think either one of them have proven that you can win football games consistently. So I think at that point, if you got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, you'd be looking to upgrade your quarterback position again. And unless one of those guys show to be something better than what we've seen in the past, I would think it's another name, an Andy Dalton or somebody like that will be available, because Dalton is already getting talked about not starting, and he was guaranteed a spot. So somebody like that would make more sense. A Connor Minshew, somebody like that. I think that has a lot more.
You mean Gardner?
Gardner Minshew.
Gotcha.
Sorry, the mustache always gets me.
I got you.
But thank you for that. And
That's what
just
I'm
getting one of those guys, I think.
That's what I'm here for. Look, at the end of the day, Brad, I'm going to throw you swerve here and throw you a curveball.
Uh-oh.
And Ant knows what I'm doing, and it's Jimmy. Jimmy's the starter in 2022, and Trey's still the backup.
Nope.
I'm going to ride that until it doesn't happen.
Nope.
So there you go. There's that. If it does end up happening, the Niners are going to end up signing a vet presence, and let's just hope to God it's not Blaine Gabbert again. So let's pray. Pray it's not that. Pray it's not that. Jag says Bill Walsh way better offensive mind than Kyle.
I think he was a guy that originated something that, it's completely transformed football forever. The West Coast offense was absolutely game changing.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, I would think he's a genius. I think some of the things that Kyle has done have been transcended as well. But you're right. I think Bill Walsh is the GOAT, because there's a reason that his book is called the Bible. When it comes to coaching, I've read that book. It's fantastic.
It is a great book.
Bill Walsh was just, crazy smart. The way he approached football had never been. It was all about how hard you could hit someone, banging heads, all that. And he put a real science to it and made everything. It was like poetry. That's what I like.
My entire coaching philosophy as a basketball coach shifted after reading that book. I was really young when I started coaching. I was 17 when I started coaching, and when I started as someone in a position of actual decision making was 17.
Yeah.
And I read that book, and then my entire philosophy in terms of how I wanted to approach coaching changed. Right, it went from winning and working really hard all the time to, well, no, we need to emphasize and focus on certain things. It's got to be about the process.
Yeah.
The key thing from that book of his, and that one of the quotes that stands out, and you posted it actually the other day.
Mm-hmm.
You posted it, and I was like, man, that is the quote.
Yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, you can see it.
Hey, yeah, you should go follow us on Instagram right now. We have an Instagram page. You should go do that this moment. it's basically, to sum it up without having to quote it directly, it focuses and centralizes on everyday improvement. You want to get better every day. If you're doing that, then your team's going to be successful. That's the basic premise.
Yeah,
come in, get better, improve. That leads to success.
Taking the onus off winning. Winning will take care of itself when you
do things the right way.
Do it the right way.
Do it the right
100%.
way. It's not about the end goal. It's about how you get there.
Yeah, it is. And that was something that's great. I think the 49ers have such a great history too that unless Kyle wins multiple championships, he's never even going to sniff that area. Because I think it's Bill Walsh and then kind of everyone else. What's wrong? I seen a thought.
Oh, hot dang, Monica. Oh, hot dang. We're not even going to go there. Alex Faulkner had said a little bit earlier, well, our edge rushers, he doesn't believe our edge rushers are as deep. He would argue against that. He knows that we like Ebukam, but Ebukam makes him nervous.
Yeah.
Why? That's what I want to know.
Well, why Ebukam makes him... Because he's unproven.
I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But Kinlaw was unproven.
Kinlaw still is unproven.
I mean...
To a point.
I would say to a point.
But, I mean, at one point, you just have to have... I guess I just rely on, like, what I see. Like, I say all the time, the eye test for me. Can I be wrong? Yeah. But I've been around football, watching football, coaching football for so long that I just look at certain skill sets, see the scheme and how he fits, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to work. And that's why I have so much faith in him. I mean, that's just, I mean, I can't say it much different than that. There's no overall shining reason, that there's that why he's going to be it. I just see it. And do I think there's
feeling?
Do I think that the depth is a question? If you question Nick Bosa coming off the knee injury, or you question D4 being able to play, then yes, there's a question as far as depth at the edge rush position.
If D Ford is healthy, or healthy in terms of he's on the field and playing whatever it is that he's supposed to be playing, and he's not having to miss extended periods of time, then this depth is insane.
Yeah, because then Arden Key's your fifth guy,
sixth guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that case you're sitting pretty good.
Megan, I do get very excited all the time. Mike Shanahan learned concepts from Bill. Don't you think John Taylor would be our number one wide receiver back then? I don't know about that. Jerry's still Jerry.
About when now, or is he saying now?
Now?
Yes.
Probably.
And I think if John Taylor was
at this point in time,
if he was playing today with his skill set on this roster, he would be wide receiver 1.
If there's no Jerry Rice, yes.
Jerry Rice said if John Taylor wasn't his teammate, John Taylor would have been a number 1 receiver on all the other teams.
Probably.
I think he would.
He was always open.
Well, he
always.
He would have been a perfect Shanahan guy because he catches the ball without slowing down.
Yeah.
That's why he was perfect for Bill's offense.
That's true.
And he broke tackles, and he was faster than anyone thought.
Plus,
let's be honest, in the punt return and kick game,
yeah, nice.
He was
nice, dude.
He was real nice.
He was nice. I think Bill Walsh was better adapting his offense to fit his quarterback strengths. Kyle seems more rigid to me. I think it's a little too early to tell at the moment.
Well,
because Kyle's still growing as a coach. He's not quite there yet. People forget Kyle Shanahan's he's not 50, 60, been doing this for 20 years as a head coach. This is his first stop, folks. This is the first stop. With time, I think he gets better. Of course, he's not Bill Walsh yet. When Bill Walsh took over, Bill Walsh had been coaching forever as it was anyway.
Yeah, but that was his first head coaching job.
It was, but he had loads of experience by that point. Bill Walsh was an older, wiser man than most people were at that time.
Well, he was a man also with a chip on his shoulder because he'd been done wrong by Paul Brown. And he was out to prove that, he was going to get it done.
Correct.
And he had the perfect owner to do it. But Bill Walsh hit on his quarterback right away. And that's the big part. I will say this. If Kyle Shanahan had Joe Montana or Steve Young, he wouldn't be as rigid. And that's what I'm hoping with Trey Lance is that he sees that this guy has these other abilities and he's going to take advantage of. The fact he was drawing up new plays, leaving Justin Fields' pro day, makes me think he has wrinkles for Trey Lance and the offense is going to expand because a great coach looks at the talent of the team and then uses things, that are really good for his system and evolves his system to fit the talents and abilities of his players.
I agree. And I think that's every great coach does that.
100%.
You don't try and make your players fit you. You make what you need to do or what you want to do fit the guys around you.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle has done that. Can he do a better job of it? You always can as a coach. It's just a matter of finding the right way to implement it. Yeah,
and it's also adjusting to what you see. I mean, it is a learning experience. Figuring out what other teams are going to do and how they're going to play you. And you had in your mind that this was going to work. And maybe it works now once you've tweaked a little something.
Monica and Megan, you're gonna make me blush. You need to stop. Kyle about to show off this year. Eugene, probably. I would think so. And if he gets Julio, he really about to show off.
Yeah, I think they are a just over 30 points a game team.
Yeah.
If everyone's healthy. If you get Julio, I think they're a 35-point game team. I think they can put up that many points because I think that defense is also going to shut people down.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a lot more opportunities.
There's also less pressure on the defense to shut things down also.
Yeah.
If your offense can put up that points, your defense can take a sigh, like a big, deep breath, knowing that, not every possession, it's not 2020 where you have to get a stop because you don't know if your offense is going to be able to push the ball downfield or if they're just going to give it away.
Yeah.
Right? You can have some blunders defensively because your offense can make up some of those errors. They can put you in better positions.
If the 49ers get Julio Jones, 100% Jimmy Garoppolo will throw downfield more than ever.
100%.
100%.
He's going to have someone that he knows he can put the ball
and
downfield
he'll
to.
be able to get Brandon Ayuk down the field as well.
That's true. That's going to open up
huge
Ayuk's ability to stretch
He
the field.
didn't play very much with Brandon Ayuk last year.
That's the thing I think that's the thing still that the 49ers fans haven't quite wrapped their head around yet is you're going to have Jimmy with all of these weapons for the first time. For the first time.
For a first time when he's healthy and they're healthy, yeah.
Yep, 100%. Listen, there was another one. Where's Jay Ellie's comment at? Thoughts on Arden Key and Maurice Hurst? How are they going to be using this team, and do they make the team?
I seen that there's now a push for Maurice Hurst to not make the team. I've seen that lately because of the talk about Kevin Givens. I will say this: I think that Maurice Hurst and Kevin Givens are going to make the team because I think Hurst is going to play more the 3 tech behind Kinlaw. And I think that Givens is going to play behind DJ Jones, and they're going to have Zach Kerr. I think Givens can play both spots, so he has some flexibility. I think Kentavious Street is gone. And then I think Arden Key and Maurice Hurst will both make the team if the roster stays as is. If they bring in other guys, there's no guarantees.
Correct.
This is what we've talked about with Arden Key before. He's a good base 4-3 defensive end. So they could still use him because you need guys to rotate with both of them. I think Arden Key has the inside track. We'll say this about Maurice Hurst, though. His athletic ability makes me think they want to keep him on the roster.
It's going to be – that's the thing. His athleticism at that interior D-line spot especially is going to make him very, very hard to cut because it's an upgrade over the guys they've currently had and the guys that they've had in the past at that position.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I think really hard to walk away from that potential.
That defensive line. I think if there was a question, I think everyone's been fair. It is edge D line because you don't know the status of D forward overall.
Someone wants us to do the 49ers cutback intro live.
Oh gosh.
We're not yet.
From West Philadelphia, born and raised. Oh, that's not the right one.
No copyright strikes. No, stop it. No, stop it. We don't want that. Look, man, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited for the season. I'm so excited for... I think this is the first time in probably like a decade for me.
Yeah.
It's the first time where I am excited about every aspect of what the 49ers are doing right now. There's been a lot of years, especially when I was younger, where I was just like, I want to see preseason because I want to see like some of these no-name guys who's going to make the roster. And then as I got older, it was like, I'm focusing on just the starters or the defense or the offense. I'm literally interested in everything right now.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what the coaches are doing with the guys to get them ready, what they're going to be implementing. I mean, the Niners have so many interesting and crazy storylines with this team. D'Amico Ryans and the new defense, right? Fred Warner and this linebacking group now with the mystery third piece and Shair or one of the undrafted free agents or, any of the other guys. Nathan Jerry. Like, who's going to be the third cog in the wheel there? The D-line, Kinlaw's development. Is he going to take the step, getting one step closer to having the impact Buckner had and making 49ers fans forget about Buckner?
Yeah.
Is the DB room set? What are the 49ers doing at the wide receiver position? The quarterback competition. Can the running back stay healthy? I mean, there are so many things going on. It's almost hard to keep track of all of it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what's fun about football. Because the rosters are so big, there's so many things to talk about and so many things to get into. And the 49ers still have questions that we need answered. those things will get answered mostly during training camp in the preseason, but some of them aren't going to get answered into the season. And then I did see 49ers Minded, right, he wants us to do it live. I will say this, when we do a game on site at some point, once we get to that level, I'll perform it live, in person.
I love it!
Yeah.
49ers Minded, way to go.
Yeah, then we'll stream that. That'll be fun, because I figured...
From the alley-oops to the key.
Yeah, we'll get that. I think that'll be fun, but...
No, I agree. And Ant is the gentleman in the black hat 49ers logo there, the nice black and white. And I'm Alex. Yeah. And Horst is out of town.
Yeah.
Hopefully be back by
Vegas!
He is. Vegas, baby. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I just picture him going down the road doing the Allen. Vegas!
Vegas! Woo! And leaning out the car window out there. Vegas, baby!
Yeah.
He thought it was a Bay Area rapper who did the intro.
Yeah.
Everything's done in-house here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Thumbnails, descriptions.
Yep.
Juice, getting juiced before the podcast. Like, that's all natural. It's all natural juicing, you know? No performance enhancers used here. My goodness gracious. I'm excited. I'm excited. And we got a lot of good things. And we got a lot of the great things coming up here on the podcast, too.
We do.
We got a lot of great content. We're expanding our catalog in terms of what we're going to be covering and what we're going to be doing. You want to hit that subscribe button because who knows? Maybe we got a Madden League potentially starting to sprout up here, and we're going to be starting that. And anyone who likes playing Madden, who knows? Maybe you get to run the sticks with me and we talk a little trash and have a little fun and cover and talk about some of the games on the channel here. Potentially fantasy football as well. That's in the works. So if you like fantasy football and you enjoy it and you're not like Anthony, who doesn't like it at all and hates it, maybe you want to subscribe here because we're going to have some of that.
There's a real reason why I don't like it.
It's because
I don't ever want to root against my team.
49ers, yes.
And I don't want to have Russell Wilson and be like, dude, I need Russ to get 300 yards.
Listen,
but don't win. Don't beat the 40. I can't do that.
Listen, here's how I can help you with this. Okay? We can have a special episode here on the 49ers Cutback. It's called Drafting for Fantasy to Support Your 49ers.
No.
So you can draft players that aren't going to be playing against the 49ers, or if you do draft players that are playing against the 49ers, you can implement Alex's personal draft plan, which is you intentionally target certain players so that when they play the 49ers, you get to bench them guilt-free.
No, see, because I want to win.
Listen.
Dude, I am like...
You can ask Megan. I finish in the top 3 of our fantasy league every year.
Dude, I am like the Hawks from Mighty Ducks, okay? It's not worth winning
if you can't win big.
That's me.
I'm not that way when it comes to fantasy football. I care about the W.
Yeah.
And if I can get the W without having to sacrifice for my team on Sundays, then I will 100% do it.
I just don't take the chance.
I don't have to take the chance because it's called strategery.
Yeah, well, it's also called cheating and rigging it in your favor.
Oh, how dare you, sir!
I had to do it for Horst. I had to do it for Horst.
Matt right now is pumping his fist watching this at home. You big jerk! You big jerk! Listen. So yeah, we got that coming up.
Yeah.
You heard us shouting out Jay in the Bay. Maybe we got a collab coming up with Jay in the Bay that you're going to want to be a part of and be on. And I'm not going to spoil this one, but we do have a very, very, very extremely special guest that's going to be coming on the show. But we're not going to say who. You're just going to have to wait to find out. So smash that subscribe button. It's a big one for us because we're very big fans of him and his show. So the fact that we're going to get to have him on, have a nice, wonderful, fun conversation and a long one, we're really excited about it.
Yeah, and I think we're just expanding in the normal expansion. But I mean, really, what I enjoy the most is all the people that are in the chat, all the people that are here every single week and ask the questions, and that's really what's getting us going with doing this because, yeah, I mean, I've been sitting working on some stuff. Like we've kind of dropped a little bit, right, Alex? That we're going to be dropping merch pretty soon. That
as well. That's the other thing you get to look forward to is merchandise, and in fact, who knows? Hopefully by next Friday. You'll get a sneak peek at some of that merch. I mean, it's going to be... I'll tell you what. Ant has been grinding really hard on the merch front because I've been focusing a little bit more on other avenues of things that we're trying to expand into. Ant's been grinding. The stuff looks great. And now it's just about putting it together and putting it into, like the actual picture. We got some sample stuff coming. So we'll see what happens. We're very excited about it. But man, I'll tell you what, if this stuff hits and pops, you guys are going to love this because everything looked Everything looked legit. It looked sick.
Yeah, and I got some new stuff that you haven't seen yet.
Ooh, I can't wait
Inspiration has struck. I got some real good stuff. I've been checking out some of the other stuff, and I'll just say, I'm kind of like our stuff better. My problem is I want one for everything for me, and
that's true. That's true.
That's real. I was looking at him. I was like, oh my gosh, I want all that.
Hey, Gary, it's not Horst. Horst is not a special guest.
It's not. It's not Horst.
And in terms of Megan asked, when's that show coming out? We're not going to say quite yet.
Yeah, we're
not going to say.
We're not going to say yet.
We kind of want to see how it goes, because if it goes great, we're not going to want to wait. And if it goes good and goes well, then we're going to want to probably isolate it in its own thing. And when most people can watch it, because we want everyone to be able to see it, because I feel like it's going to go really well. Yeah. I'm really excited for it. And I see people laying out guesses. You're not getting anything from us. JLA, I see you out there. You're not getting anything. Eugene, I see you with Grant. You're not getting anything.
You might as well call us Shanahan and Lynch, because we got no leaks.
No leaks. None of you are going to know. You're not going to know until it releases. I will say,
probably a little bit of promo stuff before it releases.
Maybe like a day or two before it comes out. I think so. You'll know. But you're not going to know until we want you to know. All right? We're taking a page out of the playbook. We do want you to know, though, that we are going to be working with Jay in the Bay. That is coming out sometime next week.
Yeah, we will be working with Jay in the Bay.
So shout out Jay in the Bay, who's in the chat tonight. I got to set the time with him after this. That's why I said check your DMs, man, because we're coming. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, Jesus, Kenny. No shout out. He's very slow. Listen, no comment. No comment. No comment at all whatsoever.
But it made me laugh.
It made me laugh, too. Look, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of things coming your guys' way. We're reaching out to a lot of different people, trying to do more collab stuff. So one of the things that was on our list for expansion was collabing with more podcasts and more people. So that's going to be coming up. So you're not going to want to miss any of that at all. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is right now we're in the kind of time where we're growing. Everyone sees us getting closer and closer to 1,000 subs. And as we get there, we're preparing for, the next stage and getting to the season. And there's going to be a lot of fun stuff that's going to be coming out and a lot of things for everyone to get involved in. And that's what we want to do is continue to grow, what we've been doing, the Cutback Crew, and just get everyone involved and everyone excited about what's going on and what we're doing. And that's the best part is the interaction. It really is. There's nothing funner. That's part of the reason that we started talking football in general is because we love football. I know Monica asked in our comments, and I haven't had a chance to message back on YouTube. It's how we met, because some people know how we met, but some people don't. I was a coach. And I met Alex. Out there he was playing, and that's how we met. And he kind of knew who I was already. And then pretty soon he was coaching with me. But him and Horst met in high school. And all of us have been coaches for many years, and really doing that. I spent 20 years coaching football. Decided when the whole COVID thing happened that you take a step away. Been getting some offers, turning them down because this is what I'm enjoying doing right now. But I think it's that's how we met, and so since then that's what we do. We talk football, we talk sports, and we just have fun.
It's been mostly football.
It has.
It has been mostly football, but we would talk other things, and I've delved into many different avenues coaching football. Whether it was high school football immediately after getting done playing in high school to high school basketball.
Yeah.
And back and forth with you, whether it was high school football or youth or wherever else we were doing. So we've known each other forever. And fun fact, I originally wasn't on the podcast.
No.
It was something that Ant had told me he was going to do with Horst, and I was super excited for him because I was still coaching at the time. Mm-hmm. And there was no way for me to get it done. And then COVID kind of happened, and my time got freed up. And my school wasn't having sports. Yeah. And they kind of both were like, hey, you want to do it with us? And I was like, why not? Let's do it.
I know, crazy to think the first episode is me alone on the Anchor app.
It's true.
Just, that's it.
That's how far we've come, too.
That's how far we've come.
In literally a year from you doing the first episode by yourself on Anchor to within 4 months after that. I've been on 2 or 3 times to our first YouTube video, or first YouTube podcast, not even video, podcast.
Yeah.
To a month and a half later, our first YouTube video, to now videos daily with a live stream on Fridays.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see it all come to fruition and everything we were thinking and doing.
People love weird looking dudes. You're funny, Tommy.
Are they talking about you?
I'm assuming so. It has to be the nose.
I couldn't agree more, Tommy.
Has to be. Everyone is still trying to figure out who it is. I'll tell you what. You won't know until we want you to know. And you know what? That's the way we want it, and that's going to be a lot of fun that way. Well, hey, Eugene, we appreciate that a lot.
Thank you, Eugene. I appreciate it. And Eugene, if you don't follow him on Twitter, give him a follow. always great content as far as he brings up some good points on the 49ers, and we've
does.
had some good conversations on there. Big time follow. If you haven't had a chance to do that, do that.
Mm-hmm.
I see 49ers Minded asks, where are we located? We're in the Central Valley. We're in a town called Lodi. It's near Stockton, Sacramento. We're in between that. But we are about an hour and 20 minutes from Levi's. Yeah, Levi's. So, I mean, if you take a party bus, it's like an hour and a half. So that's a fun trip.
It's true.
I enjoyed it.
You're a good-looking guy. Shut up. The nose is not big either.
Ooh, Tommy. Is that from Megan?
No, that was from Tommy.
Tommy, well, I appreciate that.
Tommy, I appreciate that.
You're loved.
Tommy, do me a favor. The next time you're on Grant's show, tell him how much prettier I am than him in a tracksuit. The next time you're on the cone phone, be like, "Hey, listen, I know this guy named Alex. Everyone jokes about him having a big nose, but I had to tell you because I saw him the other day. I'm gonna wear. By the way, I am gonna wear a tracksuit.
Is Tommy allowed back on Grant's show?
I don't know.
He's still timeout Tommy.
That's true. He might still be timeout Tommy. He might just be. It's Jimmy G. Itchy. I mean, you better subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, you better hit that subscribe button.
James.
It's Gary. It's definitely 1,000% not Josh Rosen. We can confirm that right now. It's not Josh Rosen.
No.
Under any way, like any circumstance, at this point in time, Josh Rosen has no plans to be on this pod. In fact, we reached out to Josh Rosen. We didn't reach out to Josh Rosen. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. Oh my gosh, that is better than Grant's. I will give you that.
Your hair?
Yeah, for sure.
I've never broke down the hair. Do we need to have like a film study?
Maybe we need to have
a
film study of
hair?
mine versus Grant's. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Be a good episode. Everyone would totally watch that. Everyone will totally watch that. Alex is Jimmy G's brother. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Oh, okay, so he is off. He's off timeout.
Oh, nice.
Grant apologized.
Oh, he actually apologized to Tommy.
Okay, well, Tommy's back on the cone phone.
I like it. Tommy, get on the cone phone right now. I don't know about right now.
No, he doesn't do the cone phone right now. I see Caleb asked if it's Rombo. We're not gonna say if it's Rombo or not. No. We do like Rombo.
Love Rombo.
Yeah, I appreciate the way that people just take over his chat.
Love it.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. By the way,
we've never done that.
No, we've never done that. Hold on. Is he streaming right now? Maybe we need to throw it off to Rombo. You can do
okay.
Oh, he is.
Hey, he is. 49er Minded is out in Roseville.
Oh, sweet.
Definitely know Roseville.
Yeah, we know Roseville very well.
Very nice.
Very well.
So he's close.
Luigi, I like it. Lynch, go big. Who knows? Maybe it is.
Whoa. John Lynch, huh? On the show.
Hold on. Let me turn right real quick. Let me turn right. I can't turn left.
The blue steel, it's back. I like that.
Maybe. My eyes were closed because I'm weird. Bring him on at the end. Oh, that would be really bad. Yeah. Josh Rosen right at the end of the episode, Gary.
I think since there's so much talk about the hair, if the Niners win the Super Bowl, we shave your head.
No, absolutely not under no circumstances. No. Nope. See, this is the thing. I've had this happen plenty of times. Teams that I've coached.
Yeah.
Right? Coach, if we go to state, we just shave your head. No. Under no circumstances.
Right. I expect it. Why would I do something? Yeah, no. Luigi says he's from Modesto.
Oh, shout out.
It. Yeah, Modesto.
Oh, man. That's not our joke. Someone from Modesto made that joke.
True.
Lou. Someone from Modesto made that joke to us about his hometown. So it's like, oh my goodness. Megan, hell no. I agree. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for coming to my hair's defense. I appreciate it. No shaving of said head under any circumstances.
Yes, it is very hot.
No, we don't need to do it.
You know, you see what he said about how hot it is? We live in one of those areas that's so hot he doesn't even want to visit.
It gets hot.
Yeah.
It gets a little crazy out here.
I mean, today was actually a nice day. It was like, 95 with a little bit of a breeze?
And there was a breeze. I took my daily run at like 4:45 today. Like right before we came over here for our pre-production show meeting. Wasn't that bad. I was expecting it to be a lot worse. It wasn't that bad.
I was lounging outside with some ex-work coworkers, and yeah, it was nice. It was enjoyable. Yeah,
49ers Minded, that's going to be a problem for us at some point, is the mods too. This is getting people to mod. We got people who want to do it already, so when the time comes, we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, no. He gets a lot of activity, so that can be a big problem. Gary, under no circumstances, a Mohawk. I rocked the mullet in 96. We'll never do it again.
Mm-hmm. I have a mullet.
Thanks, Dad.
I enjoy it.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, I have like the new stylish mullet though. Not
okay. That's smart.
Yeah,
that's smart.
I have had a mohawk before.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had a flat top before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got paid Hey, $20 if you get a mohawk. I mean, if you get a flat top.
I mean,
I was like, cool. It was like a week. It was gone. I had $20.
Full off a bead of sweat just formed on my forehead, just thinking about 95 degrees. That's funny. That's good. That's good. Yeah, no, it could be pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's bad is 95 is comfortable. I'll tell you what's bad is when we would play football. When I was in high school, it would be 105 to 110 in pads. That's why the Niners couldn't have training camp at UOP anymore. That's part of the reason. It was super hot.
It's super hot. And I'll tell you what, too, that's the other thing. I got to give credit to California teams especially, man. In the summertime, not Southern California teams because they don't deal with the same level of heat and things of that nature. But man, when Oakland was out here, when the Raiders were in Oakland, right, and the Niners were in San Francisco, that is brutal when you're in training camp with pads
Later,
on.
Eugene.
Man, I'll tell you, it was hard in high school.
Yeah,
I don't even want to think about professional football practice and the beating and the wear down that you're doing in that sense, in that respect, with all those pads on, going up against the kind of talent that you're going up against. Huh, holy cow.
Yeah. Man, we got some good temperature out there where Gary's at. Look at that, 71 degrees. That's pretty nice.
That's good old Canadian, isn't it?
That is a nice day.
Good old Canadian?
49ers, yeah, I'm sure it's hot in Roseville too. Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
It's probably hot as heck.
Should we do our questions?
Yeah, chat, go right now. Light it up, chat. Let's do our questions. We're going to get ready to wrap this thing up. Anything else you guys want to ask us tonight before we sign off officially and send you to Rombo to raid his stream again? Another Rombo raid where you go in there and say, here from the 49ers. You let them know who sent you and throw 49ers cutback love his way from the cutback crew. We're going to do that.
We do like Rombo.
We love Rombo. We're going to do that after we take your questions.
I think there's a lot of people, that we like. We got Rombo. I was trying to think of some of the other ones. Like, I think when I first started listening, I listened to like Locked On. Know Eric Crocker. He's from our area. He just got onto Locked On. Actually, with Brian Peacock.
Same high school.
Yeah, he went to the same high school. Yeah, as you, not me. That's crosstown rival. Yeah. But
my school's better.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of guys. I think people are bringing them up all over the chat. Like John Chapman and. Who else was they bringing up?
Someone just brought up Eric Davis.
I love Eric Davis. Mm-hmm. Oh man, he was one of my favorite corners.
That too.
He's just fun to watch, And I think his call is so iconic in the Vernon Davis, the grab. Got it. And he gets the woohoo. That's so great.
Itchy says it's Crocker for sure. He's from the same area. Ooh. Oh man, that's a good guess. Man. Who knows? You'll never know until we want you to know. Yeah. I mean, that's
little collab with Croc Talk TV. Who knows?
Who knows? He's a part of a new podcast too. I think he just joined.
He's on Locked On with Brian Peacock. Yeah, he just jumped off.
Just joined on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't commit to 3 hours. Okay. Huxley loves John Chapman.
Yeah, John Chapman's great.
He's fantastic, man.
John Chapman I used to listen to Locked On and to John Chapman's Rush podcast when I first started listening to 49ers podcast. Mm-hmm. Those were the first two. I enjoyed Chapman's a little bit more.
Than Locked On?
Oh. And I liked Locked On, but it seemed like, it was just like Chapman, just the way he approached the game I liked.
Yeah, definitely.
But both of them are good.
Oh, they're all good. There's a lot of good content in 49ers podcast.
Agreed.
I think the 49ers fans are kind of 49ers fans are spoiled in the sense of the rich history of the team, but there's a lot of good people out there talking 49ers football. It's good stuff.
I see Jay Ellie saying nothing but Niners. Mike Andrews, another guy that he does a good job on nothing but Niners. He really does. Him and Wayne Breezy and all those guys.
Wayne Breezy is another good one. And matter of fact, Wayne Breezy and I just connected and just talked a little bit too. So who knows, maybe something.
Yeah, those guys are good too. That's another good content. Mm-hmm. Eric Crocker's a beast. Yeah, you should have seen his brother play in high school.
Oh yeah, dude.
Whew. He was a part of those Lincoln Trojan teams.
Those some scary good teams.
That dude. His brother was legit. Yeah,
it is absolutely incredible. I won an Ayuk jersey from Chapman. Tommy, congratulations!
That is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Chapman does a good job with the giveaways.
He does.
Yeah,
he does.
100%.
Woo! Eric Davis.
Yeah, the way he made the sound, woo, it was freaking great.
It was a great call.
One of my favorite calls.
Yeah,
that and anything with Starkey with, oh, what a bonanza! I love the what a bonanza. I love those.
Forgot the what a bonanza. No, it's good stuff. You guys make all the other podcasts boring, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
We love you, man. We love you, Gary.
Yeah, Gary is awesome.
What are you guys looking most forward to this season?
I mean, I hate to quit harping on this, but full, healthy, 100% roster, week 1. That means a healthy Jalen Hurd, a healthy D Ford.
I was gonna say there has to be someone specifically.
I think those two guys. I think those are the two I mostly want to see healthy. Jalen Hurd because you know how I feel about him, and D Ford because I know how elite that pass rush will be if he's healthy.
The thing I'm most excited for is the reclaiming of the NFC West.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Niners do what they need to do against the rest of the NFC West and reestablish themselves as the cream of the crop in the NFC West. I think all of those games are going to be entertaining for the most part. I think a few of them will be ugly in terms of like blowout wins for the Niners, but I think a lot of them are going to be really, really good and solid and fun games to watch. I'm just looking forward to seeing Kyle do his thing, Jimmy do his thing, a healthy O-line, a healthy D-line, and I mean, in all honesty, Fred Warner solidifying himself as not just the best linebacker in football, one of the best players in football.
Yeah, I think he's going to do that. I think this defense is going to take a step forward. But I mean, just week 1, that excitement that we're going to feel, just knowing that they're back on the field, and then the other game too against Green Bay when the stadium's full again. I think those are going to be big. Oh, okay.
Hey now.
I like that Gary said winning the Super Bowl. I like that.
Gary, I agree with you 100%. Right now.
Yeah.
Lock it up. Man, I'll tell you what, this was a lot of fun tonight. This was a good time. I enjoyed it. It was good to be back.
100%.
It was nice having a little time to just kind of catch our breath and recharge our batteries and kind of just set the plan in motion for what's next coming up for this channel because we're very, very quickly getting up to 1,000 subs. And we appreciate all of you, every single one of you who is commenting every day, sharing the videos, liking the videos, subscribing, all of that.
Yeah.
Cutback crew, you are phenomenal. This growth, everything that this channel has been able to do so far can't happen without you. So thank you. Keep on sharing. Keep on helping us push to get there. You're all a part of this just as much as we are. And we appreciate everything that you've done for us. And we're going to keep pumping out high quality, great content for as long as we possibly can and as long as you'll let us.
Yeah, and you know what's awesome is that we're becoming like a family. All of us have our own little, things and our opinions, but we all have an agreement that we want the 49ers to be great. The conversations are awesome, and just the way that we're kind of getting to know each other's personalities, not only people getting to know our personalities, but us getting to know their personalities, is there's a lot of cool people that are 49ers fans, and I love the interaction. I think that's my favorite thing is the interaction with other 49er fans talking about 49ers football. It's what I look forward to. I mean, I'll leave a party like I did today to come and do, a live stream because it's that important and it's that much fun. And I love it. And I love all the good stuff that we've been getting. The comments have been great. Always good questions. It's so much fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun. It's always a good time. Man, I'll tell you what. Good to be back. Good to be back in studio. Good to be back here with the black. Back with the black.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, it's your
back
favorite.
In black.
It's your favorite in the whole wide world. And now we just need to get that chair filled and get Horse back in here, and everything will be right as sunshine and rain. It'll be wonderful and glorious. Whew! Man, Ant, it's about that time, my friend.
Yeah. And you know what? Have fun with the Rombo raid. Enjoy that.
That's true. We got a Rombo. Yes. Hold on.
You gonna put it in the chat?
Raid 'em.
Yeah.
Rate them, chat.
Enjoy it. I would like to say to everyone, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. You guys are by far the best, bar none. And bar none, William Floyd, by the way. Had to go there. I did see someone ask about Tim Harris. We'll have to hit that on another episode. Sorry if we missed any questions. If you have any other questions, hit us up. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. We're there. We're also always posting content. Make sure you join the conversation. And with that being said, Alex, you know what time it is? Let's chalk another one up. Unfortunately, we ran out of time for Rosen again.
Oh, we always run out of time for Rosen.
Yeah.
But hey, it's all right. Let Rombo know what's up. 49ers Cutback sent ya.
From the alley-oops at Keysar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way. From off-season to game